You did the cringy YouTuber thing with the subscribe and the.
It does help.
Okay. Does it?
Does it help with the algorithm? Like, really, it does? Can you please?
Yeah.
No way.
I started leaving mine though into like a minute to 90 seconds in. I'm like, well, if they're here, they probably at least stand me a little bit. Whereas there are some like, hello, like, subscribe. It's like, hang on, you at least tell me something first.
Yeah. This is what we're going to talk about today, but only if you like and subscribe.
All right. If you like and subscribe, I'll pull this top. No, I'm joking.
Why do I have subscribers? Because I 90% of the time forget. Well, no, now it's closer to 60% of the time I forget to mention liking and subscribing.
Why are people at the end? At the end, when I'm making videos for Park Hop, and I'll be like, anyway, if you like this video, let me know what your thoughts are. Like, subscribe, and see you next time. Bye. Kind of thing.
I feel like if they make it to the end, they probably do like the video.
Yeah, I hope so.
So like just after the introduction, it's like if they could stick you that long, they may like the rest.
I don't think we need to corrupt Kat. Kat's pretty she's spicy.
She's pretty spicy. I don't know.
Maybe a little loco when she's playing a game. I've seen that she get spicy in the chat. Anyways, welcome to that time of month. It's been a long time since we've had that time of the month, and you know, we're irregular, but that's normal, right?
Remember when we were like, we're gonna do it the first Wednesday of every month, and then it kind of tapered, and now we're at the end of the month. I'm like, I don't know. I don't have any babies to show for it. Do you?
I feel like we thought we were pregnant, and then you know that it came.
This came. When you skip a couple weeks, and you're like, oh god, oh no,
it hasn't happened yet. Please come.
I have a cat.
Look, where to go? Extra girl and I are, because we spend a lot of time together. But when you throw in extra people, sometimes you get a little bit out of whack, and you got to resync. You know.
Yeah, I'm struggling with it. I've got to be honest. I've been trying, but I just can't keep up.
Oh dang! I was expecting that. Well, hi, I'm X-Ray Girl.
And I'm Tugs. Cheers.
And we're gonna introduce our guests. We have the lovely Hijabi Gamer.
Hello, call me Cat. It's my cat's birthday.
It's Cat's birthday.
Yes.
Birthday, Cat.
Cat's birthday. Yeah.
We have kitties. Do we have kitty emojis? Is there such thing as kitty emojis? If we can.
Oh yes, there must be.
Probably.
Unfortunately, she's stubborn. I cannot get her to get her fuzzy behind over here so she can.
She said, "It's my birthday. I ain't moving."
Right. Yeah, at least she has a fuzzy behind, unlike our cat in the Geeks and Gamers team.
It's a cat.
I was like, what are you talking about? I thought of Max. I thought of Gideon. Max. I was like, he's got fuzz. What are you talking? Oh, right, Ryan. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there it is.
Yeah, it's all good. Oh, look at the kitty emojis. I love it. Yeah. Well, happy birthday, Cat's Cat. I know you are hopped up on 5 Red Bulls, but not actually. She can drink Red Bulls and have it not affect her. She's crazy.
It's
6.
This is number 6.
I can't.
I'm having a heart attack just looking at it, to be honest.
I drink one and I literally feel my heart go.
Yeah.
I'd be seeing through like time and space and stuff. It'd be way over the top.
The only reason I limit myself sometimes is because it's expensive. I buy Red Bull by the crate.
What's the limit that you drink in a day?
So 6 is limiting yourself.
Yes.
Oh.
What would be if you were completely unrestrained, what would be the number?
I could probably go up to about 10.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
they have maximum like recommendations on those. I think it's like 1,
but I'm also scared.
Look, I used to take. I stopped, but I used to take. I used to take ADHD medication, and that did nothing for me. So Red Bull's nothing compared to ADHD medication. Nothing.
I thought that was meant to chill you out, not the other way around.
It does chill me out. That's the problem. Everyone says, "Oh my god, I can't believe you have that stuff. It keeps me up all night." And I go, "Puts me to sleep." What are you talking about?
Too much. It's too much on the chilling.
My god.
Take an upper and a down. See, the goal is what I've been told by friends of mine who mix like Red Bulls, and they mix their alcohol with Red Bulls and Monsters and stuff, is you take the upper and the downer, and what happens is you meet somewhere in the middle. and you're like,
Yeah,
like a
What?
coffee.
there's a reason it
with
was
a
nicknamed the
Baileys.
Heartstopper.
yeah,
Your body doesn't know what to do.
your body's confused.
Okay, well, we'll check
Love
on
it.
Kat in like a couple hours tomorrow. Make
Yeah.
sure she's fine.
Me neither, Frank. I've had a sip of one a million years ago, and it was like, brrr.
Well, it's not
Okay.
Red Bull. I like the some of the other branded stuff that has other flavors. Red Bull tastes like cough candy or something like that. to
Oh,
me.
it tastes
Yeah, I
so
prefer
bad. Yeah, I
Monster.
can get past the taste. I can't.
Mhm, mhm,
Nope.
mhm.
I like 5-hour energies, the little shots. I like those.
That's too
Ooh,
I really
small.
need it.
that's what she said.
That's why I like Monster. The cans are massive.
That's what she said.
That is what she said. No, that's what she said. Disparu.
Ah,
She likes big
yes.
cans.
We
Disparu.
have
Ooh.
the British Uwu here, as we love to
Ooh.
call him.
He's wearing a
on Fortnite.
Diablo shirt, which I love.
Yes.
That is class.
Those are like the biggest.
I want
like,
one.
Are those called like? I know they're called horns at the top, but if it's at the side, is it still horns?
Yeah,
Tusk.
it's his
Yeah, they can
yeah.
curl around any kind of shape.
Oh,
But
okay.
you
well,
get some of the what is it? Not like deer and stuff. Their horns can go in all kinds of weird directions.
It's true. Yeah,
Oh.
the elk and all that. The rams.
But he's
Go ahead.
a devil essentially. So
Yeah.
that's what his horns are.
And he's big and he's red and he's got a tail. He's mean and nasty. I love it. I love my favorite part about this shirt, though. I could talk about the shirt all day. I really could. Is the fact that your eyes on the shirt look like they're glowing. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
everybody
they're
else.
like bright yellow and the rest sort of black and white.
oh, that's
I love this
cool.
shirt. All right, so we're stealing Max's Superman statue, and I'm gonna steal Disparu's Diablo shirt. Like those. What's gonna happen?
Well, about my clownfish.
Ah!
You want
And we're
some?
taking the clownfish. It's gonna happen. Remember a little mementos to remember everybody by.
A little bit of everyone.
Nobody realizes till they get home. It's like the suitcases. Hang on, there's something missing from this.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait.
Ooh, ooh. I love how everybody's adopted this ooh thing. Sorry about that.
I just saw.
I'm not surprised that chat likes people saying ooh. I'm really not surprised.
Well, wait. Amber Production just posted in the chat.
Hmm?
Happy International Wine Day, and I didn't know.
Oh my god,
Is
that's
that
right.
true?
I forgot. I'm drinking champagne. Oh well, that's fine. It's International Wine Day on a Wine Wednesday. I literally been trading my entire and I forgot. But you know what? I have sparkling wine, so that's fine.
There's also Global Drink Day.
There is.
Oh no, Global Drink Wine Day. That's 18th of February.
We missed it. Next year.
Wine
Yeah, this one's
Wednesday.
National Wine Day.
And then National Wine Day on a Wine Wednesday. Everybody go get some wine. Go.
There's loads of them. Full list of wine days. International Sauvignon Blanc Day.
Wow.
Was there an International Red Bull Day? That's important.
Champagne and French Fries Day.
Oh,
I mean, let's
Cool.
face it, Red Bull probably made one up.
They should. I need one. I don't drink alcohol, so I definitely need an International Red Bull Day.
Let me see. Is there
Ro-
an MVP
Rosé Day. Open that bottle night. There's loads.
day?
okay. I'm putting Wine Day on my celebration days, and it's going to be a yearly thing. Okay. I'm getting called out in the chat for not knowing Wine Day. I see you.
An energy drink day is supposedly the 29th of September.
Ooh,
So there you go. September 29th.
got it.
Mm,
I don't know if that's true, but that's what Google says. Shield Wall, what else am I supposed to be? What else am I supposed to be stealing besides the Superman statue? That's all that matters. Well, Mechanic
A
gets
Silky?
the winner, or the Wolverine statue. Oh, I'll be stealing Silkies, all right.
so cute.
Right? From Destiny too. So this actually would be very appropriate given my ridiculous obsession with Destiny.
So cute. I love everyone's collection of plushies. Obviously, you know I love plushies. So the more, the better. Extra
This
4
is
choices
genius.
calendar with important dates marked added.
Like
to
National
merch.
Wine Day, National Drink Day, National Don't Text Your Ex Day. How cute would that be?
There's a
Isn't that
national
every day?
That
Yeah, I was
should be
gonna
every
say.
day.
Yeah.
Do
Well,
not
there's
text
that.
your exes, okay? Unless you have
everybody-
children with
Everybody
them.
go follow the Capable Gentleman. For those of you who don't know, that's Lee, aka Buzzdar2, aka Jay's brother. For those of you who don't know, he's
AKA
amazing.
wine
We love
expert.
him.
Wait,
We
Jay,
love him.
drunk 3PO?
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is
brother?
his brother.
Yeah.
So go follow, go subscribe to Capable Gentleman. His channel's awesome. He just sliced his hand open recently, made a video about it. It's pretty gross. But go follow him. He's amazing. He's a real one. We're very good friends, and I absolutely adore him. So go.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes.
sorry.
Anyways, let's get to some
That's-
super chats.
It's like a real guy thing. If you like
Just
have a
likes to
massive injury, you just send it to everyone.
Oh,
my
God,
mate
the photos.
was
can you
fixing
send
his
it to
washing
me?
machine and he had a massive gouge out of his hand. First thing I got was a photograph going,
wanna
look what
see
I've done.
it.
I'm like, are you going to go to the hospital? He's like, yeah, I've not phoned them yet. So he took a photograph and sent it to me before he decided to go to the hospital.
Yes. Oh
I
my
wanna
God. There's
see
a
it.
January holiday that says champagne and French fries day.
What?
January 10th.
You
Is
drink-
Yeah, it's like
champagne.
steak and day.
Champagne and French fries day is January 10th, bruh.
Ooh.
Anywho, yes, no, I have the photos. I can send them to you if you want to see them, Extra Girl. As long as
I
he's okay
want to
with it.
see blood and well.
Oh no! Yeah, you're the superior buzzed droid, but we won't talk about that.
I just
Okay.
followed him, but I thought it was because he must be as cool as Drunk 3PO. I'm
No,
Oh,
sorry.
he's cooler.
He's
Okay, he's cooler. I mean,
He's cooler. 100% he's cooler.
All right, we have JS Pena for
Sorry.
$1.99. Says congrats on 2K. Cage and Corey work for $9.99. Congrats on 2K followers. Go Disparu, Hijabi Gamer, Irregular, and hugs for sweet tugs. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Corey.
Uh-huh.
Cheers to 2K.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the champagne today because I wanted to celebrate 2K. I totally forgot about National, but you know what? It's sparkling wine because I'm not in France. Okay, so it's fine.
Dermy Warren for $2 says congrats on 2K. Now straight to 100K. That is the next big goal. It'll be a while,
Mark,
but you know.
why?
What? Thank you, Dermy. What did he say?
Nothing.
He said, check your DMs, and I think she just checked them.
Okay, can we find out what you saw?
Oh my God, is that yours, Mark? Is that what happened?
Did he send your foot? His foot? The right foot.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that's gnarly. It's gnarly. It's really cool, but it's gnarly.
It's really cool.
this is the story of what happened to Mark's. I have the story of what happened to Mark's leg. I can't show anybody though because I'll get banned for inappropriate content. What?
I don't think I want to know.
It's
No,
really cool.
You don't want to know?
I used to be a pre-med student. I haven't been pre-med in a very long time.
I love gory stuff. I mean, I did. Okay, so the one thing I got really sickened about at work was they were aligning a toe, and so they like, okay, close your ears if you're, close them. They were realigning a toe. They dislocated it, put a screw in through this part here, through it, and I saw the wire come out this way, this far out, and I'm like, well, that's gross. I felt like my lunch coming up a little bit. I'm like,
You have gory photos in your DMs.
Well, the thing is,
On
gory
team.
depends on what gory is. I mean, that's gory, but on the other hand, like, I don't have a problem. I was in the years ago when I was a pre-med student, I was in the OR, and that's not gory in the same sense. It's
Okay,
hard to-
this photo Mark sent me looks like a shark, a small one, a small shark. Like picture a shark in the movies, like in the horror movies and stuff, where they like rip open the flesh and it's all like, ugh! That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. That's not what happened here, but that's what it looks like.
Yeah, now that I can look at, but if it were somebody's chest open and their liver being removed, that's different. It's not
I
as
legit
creepy.
can't stop looking at this.
Well, because the person is unconscious, so you're not like creeped out. But on the other hand, when you see something like that, it's like, ugh, that's just.
dang, I see a lot in this wound.
Somehow did not go to the bone. I don't know how he didn't. I don't know how he
That's
didn't,
impressive.
to be honest. Dude, that is also great photos. Those are great photos. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep.
See, for me, the only ones that get to me isn't so much the gory ones. It's where your brain doesn't quite realize what's going on, and you suddenly think, "Hang on, that's not supposed to bend that way."
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh no!" It's like subtle. There was what was it? The guy with attacked a comedian on stage recently, and then there was pictures afterwards.
Oh
and
yes,
his
arm?
elbow bent the wrong way,
Yeah.
and it looks
Oh.
normal. And you're like, hang on, no, that shouldn't be doing that, and that gets to me.
Well,
That affects me more than just like blood.
just for
mine-
you don't want to come to my work.
I can't watch. So I have this weird thing. I have a really weird thing about anything that happens to wrists. Like if I see anything in a movie or something where like in the 13 Reasons Why, where she like full on, I can't like it freaks me out. Or like if somebody were to get in a movie, they get like tied up and they have to do this and they have to like rub their wrists raw in order to break out. I can't. I don't know what it is, but the wrists freak me out. I can't. That freaks me out. I can't even watch it. I'm like, no. But anything else, I'm like, bruh. I grew up with a military family and a police officer family, so I've seen some pretty gory stuff. And it does it. I'm like, how does that happen? Because it's fascinating because the human body can be super resilient and nothing can happen to you. And you're like, how did you walk away from that? And then other times you do something little, like step on a Lego and you lose your whole foot. You know what I mean? Like the human body is so weird. It fascinates me. It just fascinates me. That's all. So,
yeah.
I can't, the wrist, like, don't stop that. That's a vital organ in there. Leave it, or vein in there.
Your body is pretty vital. Except for your, like, maybe one of your toes. Not the big toe, but the other toes. You can live without one of those. And your appendix.
Big toe is the most important one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my favorite thing about broken toes. Like, anything else they try and treat, those, I will strap it to the next one, it'll be fine. Like, they just don't care.
There's nothing we can do for it anyway.
Fingers, too, depending on how the finger breaks, they just kind of, like, line it back up and then tape it together, and they're like, okay, bye.
It'll do. It's fine.
Everything else requires, like, a cheap surgery.
Well, no, broken ribs. You can't do. We have a colleague of mine who fell off his bicycle and broke 2 ribs. He hasn't been back in several weeks.
There's nothing we can do. You just have to like not move.
When he came for a visit, he'd lost like 20 pounds because of the medications they were giving him. He was just a mess.
Hungry? Oh my god.
And it hurts to breathe. It's the worst. It's the worst.
Well, welcome to Poor Choices. We are
staying on topic.
This is what happens. It's okay. It's all good. I think we usually talk about something gross at some point. We need to just get that out of the way. So that we can KY50, good, congratulations.
Yes!
Miss Marie for the push.
Yeah.
Is that a new nickname we're going for? You guys are the best. I owe you some wine. Yes, you do. I'm so excited.
You do.
October.
October.
Kat, would you ever come out to a meetup?
I'm seriously considering it. As long as I don't have to wear a covering on my face on the plane, or have to worry about certain injections that I'm not allowed to talk about.
You don't have to come in here, I don't think, but I don't know about going home.
I don't think so, but it's also the cat. I need to make sure she hates everybody but me. Every time I go to Egypt, my brothers have to feed her, and apparently she gets very moody and temperamental and hisses at them and claws at them, even though they're feeding her. So you'd think she'd be happy, but no. My brother Yusuf is like, she bit me, she scratched me. She hisses at my other brother Omar. It's. But no, I'm seriously considering it. I have the vacation time. Just never traveled that far by myself.
Oh, it'll be fun.
It's fun.
You can't have too much wine. No, you can't. And poor choices leads to gore choices. Look, depending on the crowd you're with, that is very, very true. I've been out
poor choices with gore.
Yeah.
Chris Gore.
Chris Gore.
I was like, where is that story going?
I actually know I do have a poor choice story that does end in a little bit of gore. Not terrible, though. We were out at a nightclub one time and we way too much. Because when you work at the hotels out here, you tend to get favored when you go to the nightclubs because they're trying to get you to like send people to their club. And so as soon as they find out that like you're in the industry, you get bottle after bottle after bottle after bottle. And there's really no limit. And so we opened, what's the new one? Hakkasan. We opened Hakkasan, which is in the MGM Grand. And we were there for like the grand opening night, preview night, or whatever you call it. And there was just like no limit. We just tipped the waitress kind of thing. And one of the girls I was with was having a drama llama with one of the boys that she liked, and we thought they were a thing, but it turns out he like started to ghost her, and he like flat out made out with this other girl in front of her. I mean, it was a bad situation. And so she was drunk and she was hysterical. Obviously, anybody would be upset. And she goes, take it off running. And I'm like, all right, here we go. It's the only time I've ever taken my shoes off in a casino. I don't recommend it, but I couldn't catch her otherwise since I'm in shoes this high. She goes taking off running, and everybody's like, oh my God, where'd she go? Where'd she go? I'm like, oh my God. So I go booking after her, I take my shoes off. I'm running after her, and I was just about to catch her when I see her start to go down the big escalator. So the MGM Grand, you take escalators. I'm not kidding you. They're a good floor and a half up and down from the casino to the parking garage and vice versa. They're huge. And then you walk through this little alleyway and you go up to the parking garage. She was going down there because, I don't know, she thought she was going to drive, which was cute. And because she's upset, she's crying. I see her head for the top step of the escalator and slip. And she goes down. I'm like, no. I can hear it. I'm like, oh my God. I hit there. I get down there. Her whole, thank God. I mean, she was okay for the most part. Honestly, I think her being drunk helped because she just kind of flopped around like a fish. But she had this huge like rug burn, except it was an escalator burn on her arm that was just full of black soot, and it was bloody, and like the skin, that first layer of skin had been ripped off, kind of thing. Like she didn't need stitches or anything, but we had to pin her down and clean her up and like wrap her arm. Oh God, it was a mess. It was a mess. Poor choices lead to gore choices. Apparently, she didn't take her shoes off, so she was in these spiky heels, you know, about this big, and she's running, and which is impressive, running in these heels, and she caught, I guess the heel got caught in the escalator stair, which is one of my biggest fears. It got caught in the escalator stair, and she just couldn't, because she wasn't sober enough, she couldn't catch herself, and so she just, and all I can hear is thump, 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 as she goes down the escalator. I'm like, oh, please be okay, and she's up. She's over at the bar that's closed, crying, her arms all bloody. I'm like, oh my God, this could have been so much worse. Are you okay?
Yeah.
My heart's broken. My heart. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm not there.
Oh my God.
She's
dramatic, crazy.
Yeah, when she
gory.
sobered up though, she cared more about the arm.
Yeah, she was fine. She's like, my heart hurts. I don't care about my arm. I don't care. I'm ugly anyway. It's fine.
Oh my God.
Poor girl.
Well, that's a story. Well, hopefully those type of gory mistakes do not happen.
We have 69 people watching.
Ayo.
Nice.
Ayo.
Ew. So I guess, okay, let's go with some relationship questions. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's finish up some of these super chats. So we have the Front Porch Conservative for $4.99. Congrats on hitting 2K in subs. Thank you. It just goes to show that hard work is still rewarded. Cheers to the two best and hottest hosts on Wednesdays. Thank you. Thank you. And it's Chewy for $5. It's Chewy is showing mad love to poor choices. It's a poor choices and Mexican rodeo kind of evening. Oh, sup to everyone, including folks in the chat. And Cappy for 5 BGNs. I'm an alcoholic who came to listen to people speak about alcohol, and now I'm stuck listening about gore.
Sorry, Cappy. Love you.
Cappy, you're making good poor choices being here. So cheers to you. I don't know what you're drinking, but drink up. Alrighty.
So I just should say one of the ongoing jokes about Muslims is we don't drink and yet we party like we do. It's like we don't need alcohol. We don't need it. We party crazy because we do it without needing any alcohol at all. Like, have you ever been to a Muslim wedding where we separate the genders? It's just the women go nuts and the men go nuts, and it's just
wait. So in Muslim weddings, do they always separate the genders? Is that how it works?
It depends on the wedding, because one of the great things about separating the genders is you could take this off. So women want to get all dressed up and pretty for the wedding. So you have all the women in hijab. I've seen it more in America, oddly, than in Egypt. So I've been to an Egyptian wedding, which looks totally American. You wouldn't believe you're in Egypt. But here, I actually like it better. Yeah, you could take the headscarf off. Everyone gets all pretty and dressed up. And then there's this moment, because if the woman has been wearing hijab, her fiance has never seen her without the hijab. So once they're married, he can see her without it. So all the women put their headscarves back on except for the bride. And so he gets to see her for the first time, you know, with her hair pretty and, you know, all dressed up. So it's a really sweet moment when he gets to see her for the first time, you know, without the headscarf on.
Will say, I think there was a Muslim couple on 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days, and they spoke about that. And I thought that was kind of like this magical moment where, you know, the whole like, don't, you can handhold at like probably the most and maybe a hug, but you can't, you know, be intimate at all. And to kind of have that only with one person, I think that's kind of cool. Obviously, America has changed that a little bit.
Well, it depends again. I mean, I was actually engaged briefly a couple of years ago, and we couldn't be alone at all. So, like, we would go walking in the park, and it would be me and him talking, and then my parents would be about a couple feet behind us because chaperoning. You can't be alone with the person because, well, things can happen. if you don't mind, let me just say the whole idea about arranged marriages, it's not exactly what people say. Like, mine was technically arranged because he was interested and he spoke with my parents and then we met. So I have a final say in the matter. It's not like marriage is forced. It's, at least here in America, it's, you're supposed to have a choice in the matter. So if you don't want to marry the guy, which it didn't work out, they never forced me to marry him. I'm still single.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So you have had some experience dating.
I guess technically.
Yeah.
That would definitely classify. Yeah.
It's so interesting to me that I love hearing about other cultures and the way they do things, because like America's just, especially right now, we're just kind of like this weird free for all. And I love hearing the different cultures. Like you talking about the chaperones makes me think of like way back in the day when that was a big thing, where you would go on your walks around the park. Like if you ever watched the show Bridgerton, they do that a lot, where they go walk around the park because there's people around and they're chaperoned and you're not alone. And like it was very interesting to see that that's still around in some cultures, depending on where you're from.
It wasn't that long ago though.
It really
wasn't. You could go back to like the 60s and you could get that.
That's true.
So I do think when we talk about stuff like that, just because we weren't alive at the time, it seems like a long time ago, but like if there's still people alive when that used to happen, I don't consider it that long ago at all.
I mean, like it happened to me.
Yeah.
Well, I just don't want people to understand that I know a lot of people are forced into marriage as Muslims, but that's not the religion, that's culture, because according to the religion, you can refuse to marry a guy even if you don't like how he smells.
I love
Seems reasonable, to be fair.
Yeah, if you don't like how so a lot of that's the culture. Different cultures will say, yeah, you could force a girl to get married, but according to the religion, strictly speaking, yeah, if you don't like how he smells, you could say no.
It's those pheromones.
Do you have to tell him that's why?
I don't think so, but if you want, I don't see why not. I think it would be. Honesty is a good trait. I really highly recommend it.
Just for next time, the reason why is I'd rather be in the next room.
I feel like that's like a teenage thing to approach someone. You know, hello, here is a deodorant stick. This thing will be your best friend.
Let me introduce you to Lynx.
Look, I worked with a guy who used to smell so bad you knew where he was standing after he walked away. Okay?
Like you could track him like a sniffer dog. Like you can. Like, where's Dave? Oh, he's over there, and he went left about half an hour ago.
Store. Keep in mind, I work in a store, so he was working with customers. He was talking to customers. Yes, it was that bad. Thank God he no longer works with me.
I have a funny story about this, actually.
Shotguns.
So, Farmers Conservative says, where I'm from, fathers are usually cleaning their shotguns when the young man picks up their daughters on the first date. Interestingly, there seems to be less problems that way. So, I have a funny story about this. So, in high school, there was this guy I had a crush on. And he had a crush on me, but never went anywhere, unfortunately. That's a whole nother drama. But we went to Sadie Hawkins together, but we did it incorrectly. Like, he asked me, like, the Sadie Hawkins, the whole point of Sadie Hawkins is the girl, like, asks the guy out, right? And it's like role reversal. But he asked me, and we never went to the dance. We went and we watched, Top Gun was playing in theaters for whatever reason. I don't remember why. We went and watched Top Gun. We had Top Gun matching shirts, and then we went and played arcade and had dinner and all that stuff. It was a lot of fun. But my dad, he did this because it was my dad's weekend. And so while I was, getting ready and pretending that I was, fashionably late or whatever, my dad answers the door and this guy comes in. And then my dad's got this table full of guns that he's cleaning. Ooh. And this guy is like, it's nice to meet you. I'm so-and-so, whatever. So nice to meet you finally, this, that, and the other. And he comes in and my dad sits down. He's like puffed up chest, like, oh yeah, I've got these guns and I'm cleaning them just naturally or whatever. And this guy sits down and is like, oh, that's a 9mm with a bubble. And he just starts naming them all. And is like, oh, I have one of those. It's a little bit hard to fire because of the ricochet. Like, do you have any tips on that? Didn't miss a beat. And my dad was like, this one's trouble.
He's like, marry him, yeah.
Yeah, that's a keeper.
He knows the art of the schmooze. No.
Yeah, but you can't prepare for that. That was a genuine interest because there's no way.
It was great. It was great. I was like, I tried to tell you that he's not like he knew about guns, like he's had people in his family, like he knows about them. I didn't think he knew that much, but I was like, so I'm standing in the hallway all dressed up like, bruh.
Awesome.
He'll never. My dad brings up every now and then. He's like, I knew it. I knew that guy. He was too smooth. He was too smooth. My God. Yeah.
It's so interesting how like you can be too smooth or not smooth enough. You kind of have to be in the middle.
Yeah. The art of the schmooze.
That's not a stereotype, is it? I want a man who's strong but also sensitive. Who's caring but also alpha. He'll let me have what I want, but also make all of the decisions for me. It's like that's everything.
I'm just for someone who's at max light level in Destiny 2 and knows what a porpoise is.
Yep.
Over my head.
Capable Gentleman does bring up a good point, though. And he knows this because he charms fathers all the time. I'm sure. I've heard some stories that I won't reveal, but I've heard some stories.
So, Disparu, are you a father charmer?
Of the ones I've met, probably.
Do you charm fathers? Oh,
but that's I've never had one that's really tried to scare me off. So,
you not had the dad. Well, I guess it's probably different in England. You guys dads don't greet you with guns in their hands, probably.
Well, over here, yeah, you'd only meet the parents by the time anything got quite serious anyway. So they've already known about you. There's no real point trying to scare you off at that point. It's not like first date kind of idea.
God.
I think it's a bit different if it's sort of immediate and like, no, I want to set stuff off onto the right track. Then you've known my daughter for however long it's been, and because at that point that'd probably backfire on them rather than anything else.
It's interesting. Well.
Yeah, exactly. Oops.
Thank you. Smash the like button. We have JS Pena for 199 says, everyone, ooh, me, Disparu, European.
I mean,
see,
cannot confirm.
Oh,
but won't deny.
Wow, European jig. Whoa.
Yep. Thank you, JS Pena. You know what?
I've seen that in comments before. It wasn't new to me.
European gigolo.
Yep.
Really?
No.
I think a lot of non-British people love the accent. I don't know, right? Chat?
Yeah.
Love accent. Yeah. This whole the three here.
Well, that's the biggest problem, though, isn't it? It's like a talent which is only useful in any area where you're not. It's probably the most useful thing you can have.
You gotta move. You gotta be like the British guys in Love Actually. The British guy that comes to America is like, I'm gonna go to America and I'm gonna find a hot American girl, and he finds like a whole sorority of women. It's the best because of his accent. It's the funniest thing. I about died. It's my favorite part of that movie. It's so funny.
There was a guy, I can't remember who it was, but he said he had a mate who was just American, but he said one day he just decided he was going to be British and just started faking a British accent everywhere he went. And apparently it worked. So, you know.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, we love it. We love it.
Dang.
My understanding is, though, it's a lot more than just imitating the accent, because there's a lot of words that we don't use, or like different words that are used in England versus here. So you can often tell when someone is making it up because of some of the wording they use.
Yeah, that's one of the things I like between like Gary and Az's conversations is you'll just hear random things and Gary will be like, oh, no, we don't have that. Like fancy dress. I fell over when Americans don't call like Halloween costumes fancy dress. And he was like, no, I thought everyone was going around in suit. Yeah. Halloween costumes, like dressing up as whatever demon or whatever.
So is cosplaying a fancy dress then? Technically?
We'd probably call it cosplay, but it'd fall under the same definition. But yeah, like we would have fancy dress parties, which means you go as a person or like in Halloween costume and whatever. Whereas Gary was like, he thought it was like 3-piece suit and stuff.
Yeah.
No, you turn up in a 3-piece suit. Yeah. You'll look really out of place.
No, well, let me just say this. As someone, I went to school in Egypt for about 8 months. I went to school in Egypt, and in Egypt they use the British spelling. So then when I was in 3rd grade at the time. I came back to America, and I was spelling things in, like colors.
Correctly.
Which correctly, but in America is incorrectly. But they wouldn't tell me that. They would tell me you're spelling it wrong. And I'd be like, but I remember distinctively being told to spell it this way. No one had the decency to say, yeah, it's because you went to school in Egypt for almost a year and they do it differently.
Yeah, I think it's more common to put the U in things around the world than it is the American spelling.
There
Probably
we go.
just because that's the empire.
Well, Egypt was Egypt was under it was a British colony and a French colony at some point.
Oh,
well, we apologize for the French.
Why did you do that to us? Now my father wanted me to learn French at one point because of that. So much. Everyone else is learning Spanish, and my father's like, "You should learn French."
Well, it'd be good
my
there.
favorite thing, it's always been the Merovingian from, I think it's Matrix 2, where he says, of all the languages, French is best to curse in. It's like wiping your ass with silk. And he just reels it off.
The French are so sassy. They make good wine and cheese, though, so I can't be mad at them.
Oh, and onion soup.
And French. And dip, French onion dip, which I don't even know if it's actually French or not, but.
Cappy is offended.
Excuse me, I'm pretty sure
Wow.
that I love the Germans, but that would be the German and the Russian, like that whole like where they like bite at you as they speak.
They
and you're like,
sound
"What are you saying?"
angry.
They're saying
The
things
German
like,
sound. I like
love you
the
so
female
much.
Russian accent though. I think
That's-
that's different than the German
Well,
one.
the female
Yeah.
Russians are beautiful in general
Ireland.
that I've seen.
Ireland,
Yeah,
Scotland,
and Eastern Europeans. Like the further you go, it's like good genes.
Wait, so Disparu is an American Canadian accent. We'll just kind of combine the two together. You know how we feel about the British accent? Is it the same?
Yeah, is that a
Canadian
popular
American
thing
accent.
over there?
It probably depends on the American accent, which one it is. But
Ooh.
I have had people over who essentially weren't from America, but had trained in America. So they learned English in America. So they spoke it with an American accent. And then they came over here, and there was a lot of, oh, so you're American. And I think people like anything that's unusual. I think that's
Yeah.
what it is. So it's going to be like English accents. There's going to be some accents that people just wouldn't like because it's quite coarse or whatever. But sort of the traditional American accent that you see in movies a lot and that kind of thing, I think people would like.
I feel like a lot of the intrigue, at least from what I've seen from people who come from overseas, even from England, Ireland, and all that stuff, the accent over here, if you have that Southern drawl, like hey tater tot, how y'all doing? Like that real soft Southern drawl. We love it here in general. You hear somebody that speaks like that, you're like, oh my god, or that really hardcore New England accent. You're gonna go park the car in the garage. Like if you have that heavy accent that everybody, especially overseas, is like, what is that?
And nobody in New Jersey talks like that accent. The whole New Jersey thing. I've never heard anyone in New Jersey talk like that. And I've lived in New Jersey.
Jersey.
Jazzy. I can't even do it.
Nobody says that. No one.
But-
I have never heard anyone.
Jersey?
No
Same
one.
thing
I
with
was
the
talking to Mike about that before, and I like the first one, but Mike was like, no one likes the Southern accent. So like, no, I do. I think, yeah.
I like it.
There's a
Yeah.
few people that spoke like, I think there was a TV show. What was it? A vampire one. The main character.
Oh,
she spoke with that
True
accent.
Blood.
Oh, True
Yes.
Blood.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Oh,
And
Jessica.
There's a few like
Oh.
content creators and what
God
as well that have the same accent, and
Yeah,
it is.
I
yeah,
love the
it's
Southern
cool.
accent.
Was it Alex
love
Skarsgård? Oh, dang.
Oof. Yeah,
Northman?
I personally like Southern accents. I especially like the cowboy drawl.
Mhm.
There's the cowboy drawl, and then there's the super Southern, like that real that everybody thinks the Southern accents like that kind of like short drawl. They're like, hey, tater tot, and like they call you like things, bless your heart, and like things like that. And then there's
Oh,
the
I
cowboy
love when they
drawl.
say bless
Oh.
your heart. It's so adorable. It's so adorable.
There's
First
an
of all-
Egyptian.
That's what I was just reading.
Can you say the A word again? I want to hear it.
The A word.
The A
I
word.
have no idea.
ASS.
Ass or arse.
Oh, there we go. There we
There
go.
it is. He just says, like, you said that
It's like
American
wiping
when
your
you were-
arse with silk.
Wait, there's an Egyptian singer. He was born in America. His name is Karim Sadema. He was raised in Texas. He looks more Egyptian than I do. Like my family has Persian ancestry, Turkish. He has a southern accent. So you see this Egyptian guy who has this total southern accent. It's the most disconcerting thing. And yet it's just awesome. His music is also pretty good.
Send the link in the chat. I would love to hear it. Love to hear it.
Lee's got a pretty good voice. Anybody who watches Park Hoppin' has seen Lee do
very
Park Hoppin' stuff.
pleasant
It's deep, but it's a nice voice. That's another thing too. We ladies love deep. And when you have a deep voice and an accent, like done. I don't just go ahead. It's whatever. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Whatever you want.
goodness.
Whatever you want.
We have Jay Espana for 199 says, by the way, Kat, I recommend Jackson Galaxy to help.
Oh,
with
I
your
know
cat."
him. He's awesome. He's awesome. I love his show. He's awesome. My cat is a feral. Well, she was a feral, so she doesn't get along with people other than me.
Oh yeah.
So that's it. But I know Jackson Galaxy. I love Jackson Galaxy. My cat from hell.
Well, makes them have a personality, and I think I like an animal personality. Even
She
though
knows
they're
what she wants. She knows what she wants.
just you.
Yeah. And when at her own pace. So like if I come home from work oddly early for some reason, we once had a fire in our air conditioned unit and I came home early and she was like, "Why are you here? This is my me time." And she ignored me for hours because she has her specific schedule.
I used to have a dog like that. Yeah. Whenever it went under the table, you didn't go near him, otherwise you were going to lose your hand. But otherwise, he'd be fine. Yeah. It was like he liked attention, but only on his schedule. It was, and that was the same thing. That had been because he'd been through tough times before and stuff. So he was like, he knew what he wanted.
Strays are hard. The ones that have been on their own, like out on the streets and all that, they're hard to bring around. It's difficult.
They've lived a tough life, so.
But they make the best animals when they do come around. They really do, because they're like they're mean when they have to be, but they're super chill otherwise, and they're so fun.
It's like I feel like it's their way to control the situation and still feel like they're in control, because they probably haven't been in control for a long time, which actually is strangely a lot like human beings.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, each pet has their own personality.
Yeah.
You get used to them. And what always makes me laugh, especially around dogs, is because they have like multiple barks and growls. You'll just come along and meet people, and they'll think the dog's being really aggressive at them. It's like, no, that's his happy bark. He's fine. But to them, he's like gnashing his teeth and all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if you give me a minute, I'll see if I can get her.
Okay.
There was a TV show over
at some point.
There was a TV show over here of she was a dog trainer, but she said she could train any man to be a better husband, and she did use all of the same tactics to train the men as train the dogs. So, you know, if he did something good, she'd reward him.
Oh my god! See,
that was a full TV show.
Who was that put that? The shield wall. It's true. And it's for feet. Oh,
She's
Look at her. She's like, Mom, really?
she's so big.
On the fingers. Yeah, she is.
Look at her.
Oh my
Mom,
God.
put me
She's
down,
like
Mom.
30 pounds,
Happy
right?
birthday, kitty. You can't
Happy
hear me, but
birthday.
happy birthday.
I have to ask how much she
Hey,
weighs.
say hi, kitty. Say hi.
Look at her face.
Wait.
Why? Why?
I am looking for things to attack.
Pissed. She's definitely pissed.
This chat's good enough to attack.
She's not having it.
She's
not having it.
No. She said no. Her face
No.
is like, I will
Nah.
murder all of you.
She definitely is not having it.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Well, I do think that there are some things that, in terms of like training cats and dogs, that can relate to humans because, for one, it is like children. Yes. And I do think adults fall into it as well because you don't realize I've seen people train other people. It just, you ring a bell, they come.
Yeah, that's true.
Training.
Yeah, when the doorbell rings, yeah.
Yeah, right. So whether it's humans, cats, dogs, it all works. And yes, humans do have that natural tendency to want to be left alone. And you just have to leave them alone. Disparu, are you having whiskey?
Yes.
Yes.
Why are you yelling?
Where's your
Cappy?
glass?
I have no idea. It's like really surprised.
You're so
It's like if I'm drinking anything, it's going to be whiskey, so it's like 100% chance.
Show us
of
the
guessing.
whiskey. What are you drinking?
The British have two levels, beer
This
or whiskey.
Jameson's.
Mhm. Cappy for $5.
Or cider. Big cider people
I
over
love
here.
cider. The next time I play Fortnite with any of you, I'll curse in Bulgarian so you can suffer my Slav language. Okay.
Okay.
I'm waiting for
I
it.
feel like it's gonna be harsh like German and Russian is.
Maybe.
Well,
Yeah, on all the Eastern European languages, quite Russian sounding to us.
Yeah.
well, I'm told Arabic sounds angry. So لو عايزين أنا كل مرة عايزين يتكلم شوية عربي فهكلمكم شوية عربي بكلم عربي مصري.
Why are you yelling at me?
No, it doesn't sound harsh at all.
No,
No,
I don't
but
know.
I think it was your tone of voice that made it not harsh.
Yes.
The kind of the vowels and the way the word sounded,
that's
I think if
true.
they were said in like a man's voice, could be taken that way.
طيب ليه انتوا عايزين تطلعوا عيني ليه؟ أنا عملت
Oh, there we go.
لكم إيه؟
There we go.
That sounds angry. That sounds angry. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's like Welsh. Welsh can sound very angry over here as well. There's lots of like and like spitting and stuff. It's a very harsh language.
I feel like that's the same with a lot of Asian languages as well, except for maybe Japanese. I feel like Japanese is more pleasant, but like Chinese dialects, Vietnamese definitely. As an Asians, Vietnamese are probably like the crazy ones, from what I've heard. At least the women. I don't know about the men, but yeah, we have a reputation.
I
I like the
I-
fact that an entire country can be so angry it gets an international reputation for it.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I'd rather people be scared of me than think I'm a big P word.
Yes. Capable Gentleman loves his Macallan, by the way. That's like his thing.
I've not tried it.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you ever had Macallan. Macallan.
No,
Yeah.
I've only tried like the whiskeys I can easily get access to. I've not tried any
Oh.
thing which I can't get down the road.
Macallan is kind of pricey too, depending on the age of it. But yeah.
I kind of want to do a poll now. Women are crazy no matter where you live.
How dare
Women are
you?
crazy. No,
I
that never
totally
happened.
agree. As an Egyptian woman, it is known I am a stubborn. I have a rock in my head, and my live stream will totally support me on this. I am a stubborn Egyptian. That's how we built the pyramids. We were stubborn. We said we were going to build a giant triangular rock, and nothing
Out of nothing, because
Yes.
the soil out there makes no sense.
But we did it anyway because we're Egyptian and we do whatever we want, and we are stubborn about it. And no matter what anybody says, we do
You
what
had
we want.
help from the
a
aliens.
brave
Don't
poll.
lie. Don't lie.
I think it's fun.
It took me about 0.5 seconds to answer.
Chat, are all women
Who's it?
crazy?
You must have known the answer to this before
Yes.
you posted it.
All of our audience is men for the most part, and you ask a question like that, bruh.
That
Well,
means they're
to be
unbiased
fair-
and objective.
We have 70% saying no so far.
Those
There
are
you
the
go.
only- those are like the three
You have
ladies in
85% saying yes.
Well, okay, I say this that all women and men can be crazy. It just takes the right things to happen to make them crazy.
But are you crazy if you're acting in a justified way?
Though yes, I am. My family's from Egypt. I was born here.
I think there's things you can control to make yourself less reactive. Like, you know,
that a
if
good
someone
thing,
if someone wrongs you and they cheat on you, you can go crazy, sure, but like if you start burning their house down, I still think you're crazy.
That's
No,
why we
right?
play video games.
I wasn't going to immediately jump to arson. That's like...
You just kill thousands in a video game. I have kill counts that would probably turn me into a horrifyingly
yeah.
frightening person.
Yeah, well,
I've sent messages. I've sent messages that would get me on some kind of, you know, MI5 watch list that were in the region of I'm really angry, I need to kill somebody, and I just mean like in a game. I need to play Call of Duty is what I'm saying, but you take that out of context, yeah, that could sound bad.
Yep. And Gretz, I have seen this correlation between hotness and crazy. Do you?
I'll pull it up. The
believe-
hot crazy scale. I'll find it. I'll Google it.
Yeah, the hot crazy matrix.
Chat. Have you ever heard of it, Kat?
No.
Oh, I'm so excited.
It's one of the best YouTube videos ever made.
So
Someone
there's
could
this
show the video 'cause it's
chart
from How I Met Your Mother,
that says
but
the hotter you are, the
Yeah.
crazier you are. But what you want is to fall into the wife zone, which is not a 10 out of 10 hot. I think it's like an 8 or something, where you're less crazy, but like still good looking.
I got the video.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's from How I Met Your Mother. I don't know if we'll get.
No. They got it off an original video.
Oh,
Like, that's
but
the original video.
this is
can
the
probably find you the graph.
the image. So you have your
Yeah.
crazy access, and you have your hot access, And if the hotter they are, it means the crazier they are. You have your danger zones, which says redheads, strippers, girls named Tiffany, which is fat, and hairdressers. You have your date zone, your wife zone, and your unicorns, which don't exist, which is the low, which is down here at the bottom, which I feel like unicorns do exist. You guys, we're all just
Avery Brooks
impatient.
would fall in that.
No. And that's why the scale starts at a 4, because the guy in the video says there's no woman below a 4 crazy.
No.
Oh my God, Southern Belle and girls named Karen.
Karen and
Hey,
Amber.
the Karen meme didn't exist when this thing was made.
And apparently Amber's, which is a whole nother.
Amber. Yep.
Oh God.
You know what though? There's not just crazy with that one. Like that one's got some issues that stem from however that girl was raised. That is sociopathic behavior. Like that's a totally different scale. There's crazy and then there's literally clinically sociopathic. And that's what that one is.
Yeah, you have to be. If you have Johnny Depp and you're married to Johnny Depp and you don't treat him with, I mean, come on, the guy's good looking. What's wrong with you? It's Johnny Depp. I mean,
I
Yeah, but there's a few things like that. Like there was, there's been loads of film stars where everyone's like, oh, he's the hottest guy ever. He's got millions. He's got everything. And then he gets divorced, and you're like, hang on. Or he gets
like
cheated
Brad
on.
Pitt
And like,
and
hang on,
Jennifer
if that's it for him, what chance does anyone else have?
Brad Pitt, Jennifer Aniston, Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, Brad Pitt was a great example.
What is the correlate? Is it Brad? Or is it the women he's picking? I have questions. Like him and Jennifer makes sense because she wanted to pursue a career and he wanted a family. Like that's huge stuff that you should absolutely break up over if you didn't discuss that, beforehand. I get that part. But him and like that went south so quickly. And I have questions. But she's also very hot. So that also tells me maybe she's the crazy scale matrix thing. I don't know. Mm-hmm.
If you're married to Brad Pitt, is it a major deal that you pursue your career, which will always be far less than his, and he will always make far more money than you can ever spend in your life?
Like in acting or just anything?
Let's carry on the example. Acting, because she could have had a career, it just would have been not as peak as it could have been without him. But she would have been able to act and just would have earned less money, but he would have made more money than they could ever have spent anyway.
Hold on, let me put my glasses on for this comment.
I think okay, so just to Disparu, I think if I were married to someone like Brad Pitt, if acting was literally my passion, I would go for it because then it would create more opportunities. But other than that, if it isn't your passion, why even bother?
But she could still have done it. She just wouldn't have been able to, she may have had to have turned down some roles because he was on a bigger movie or something, but she still could have acted.
But if he understands, he should understand that it's her passion too, and to help and support her as best as he could at the time.
Yeah, I think that wasn't a conversation that happened beforehand.
Yeah.
And if it was a conversation that happened beforehand and he was like, I want a family, blah, blah, blah. And she said something to the effects of, well, I mean, maybe down the road. That's not a yes or no to me. That's something that you have to sit down and talk about together. Like we wait 5 years or.
Well, they did have a family. They had a humongous family.
Who? Brad and Jen?
Angelina Jolie.
Oh yeah. I know him. And that was part of the reason why they fit so well together is because, I mean, she already had a couple of adopted kids of her own and they just added to that. That was the whole thing is he wanted a big brood. That was what he wanted. And Jennifer didn't want to give that to him at the time. Now I don't know how she feels. Personally, I'm hoping for rekindling. Personally, that's just me. But this is my point. Sahil, this is my point. Sahil, this is my point. Jennifer Aniston. Now, other men would disagree with you, but if you compare the two, Angelina Jolie is like hot, whereas Jennifer Aniston objectively is more like she's cute, she's pretty. She's pretty, she's cute, but she's not, to compare to Angelina Jolie, she's nothing, right? So if you look at the crazy matrix that we're talking about, Angelina is the hot crazy scale, whereas Jen is probably more on the lower end of that scale. You know what I mean? That was my point.
I don't know. Like, to divorce Brad Pitt, you've probably got to be pretty crazy.
I mean, Jen didn't divorce him.
And let's
Fred
this is
divorced Jen.
Hollywood. Do we think any of them aren't crazy? Like,
Well, there's
DeForest Kelly. DeForest Kelly is one of the few people in Hollywood that used to give me hope for Hollywood. DeForest Kelly was married to the same woman his entire life. In fact, if you look in Star Trek in the original series, you see he's wearing his wedding ring. That's why the whole idea that Dr. McCoy was divorced came from, because he would not take off his wedding ring. Every one of the Star Trek movies you'll see he's wearing a wedding ring. He died, I don't remember how long ago, of stomach cancer, but he was quiet. You don't hear about him doing anything crazy in the news or anything nuts. He just, the moment he finished, he did Star Trek, he just, same woman his entire life.
This is why I think that Chris Pratt must be about as clean as you can possibly be. Because if there was any dirt on him at all, it would all have come out. And so the fact that he's managed to survive and everyone still likes him, even though he's got all the hate, really proves that he's just
the superior
squeaky
Chris,
clean.
and I will die on that hill. He's the
I
superior
agree.
Chris. Ugh.
Although I love Chris Pine's eyes.
Chris Pine, I do like Chris Pine. It goes Chris Pratt, Hemsworth, and Pine. Evans and Evans can just calm down. I used to like
Evans'
Evans a lot.
body.
Yeah. Physically, Evans is a specimen. Up here, he needs to chill. He needs to calm down. He needs to relax.
Because I'd say like Chris Pratt, because he's funny, and this I've always said this about comedians or people who are funny. Girls' pants drop for people
Me
who
too,
are funny.
yeah. And he's so funny. Oh, speaking of
How do you feel about Henry Cavill, Kat?
The fact that he likes video games, yeah, that puts me high on the list. I have my priorities. Most people, a woman wants a diamond. I've already told people that if you want to, pique my interest, hand me a graphics card, an RTX 3090 Ti or something. So the fact that he plays The Witcher, even if the show isn't as good, the fact that, wants to sit down and play Destiny 2 with me.
Yeah. And Warhammer, like, the way he talks about Warhammer, I'm like, I can't. The way he talks about Warhammer is how I talk about Star Wars, and I just...
Warhammer's awesome. 40K, the lore for Warhammer 40K is amazing.
I don't know anything about it because I've never played it, but I hear snippets mostly from his interviews, but I heard snippets about it. And as somebody who's played like Diablo and stuff, I'm like, and World of Warcraft, I'm like, why have I not played this? Like, I feel like this would be right up my alley.
You don't even need to play it. Just go on YouTube. There are channels that are devoted to the lore. Imagine like Halo on steroids. You're talking about armies of mega master chiefs. And yeah, I mean, you can't be by yourself in a date, but I don't see why not. If like I were to be like, hey, you want to have dinner at my family's house with my parents? Then you can, be scrutinized by my 5 brothers. One of them lives in Australia, but I still have, 4 of them who can.
Yeah,
they like to hang out at the gym, and one of them was a pro soccer player. So,
dang!
I mean, a low-level pro soccer player. I'm not talking the big level, but he did play.
That's an achievement, though, to get up there.
Yeah, the minor leagues are impressive. Oh, heck yeah. That's awesome.
So Shieldwall did have a question, and now it's piqued my interest. So Kat, if you like a guy, can you try and set up a date with him? Like you meet someone who loves Destiny and video games just as much as you do and has very similar priorities. How does that work?
You know what I would do? Like I said, I would probably invite them over to the house for dinner with my family, preferably 1 or 2 of my brothers also present because they're buff, and make sure they protect their only sister. So. But yeah,
oh my God, 1 in 5 boys.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And one of them actually lives, like I said, in Australia. He loved it so much he has Australian citizenship. We haven't seen him since.
He said bye.
Yeah. He works for Microsoft, and I don't know if he's. Yeah, apparently he really likes it in Australia.
If he doesn't meet Chris Hemsworth at some point and tell him I adore the man, I'm going to be disappointed.
All right, I'll tell him. I will tell him. I mean, I don't know. He lives in Sydney, and the problem is with the time difference and all that. I don't.
Oh yeah.
You'll either call in the morning or in the evening. There's no in between.
There really isn't. I would never know what time it is anywhere. It's awful. You want Disparu's voice as an AI? I want Disparu to record my voice.
How would that even work?
I don't know.
Your voicemail?
Yeah.
No, people would probably change my mind if that'd be weird, wouldn't it? Like people phoned for you and got if people phoned for you and got an entirely different voice, they'd be like, hang on, I've got the wrong number here.
Oh, you've reached the phone of Tugs. Call back.
Oh my God, can I have you record a voicemail for me?
I mean, You can if you want, but I still think people will phone you, hear a man's voice, and just hang up because it's like,
That's
no,
fine.
this is
That's
clearly the wrong
fine.
number.
We don't care.
I'm
I
great.
also wouldn't mind you being my GPS.
Oh,
I think you could actually do that. You could actually switch
Yeah, but
the
no,
language.
have you done the if you have an iPhone, you can change your Siri to be British or whatever. And the British guy, no offense, Siri, but the British guy that they have is like,
Did you just
meh.
apologize to an AI?
I did.
I would
In that case, it
apologize
takes
to
over the
AI.
world and takes revenge.
The British
I'm
guy
gonna get it on
they have
site.
is not good. Let me see if I can find it. It's just not. It's not. Ugh. It's like ugh. No. It's got to be a good accent, and they didn't pick one. It's just terrible.
Yeah,
So-
it's same thing
Oh,
with like the donations and bits. I love when they have like the accents. It's fun.
Yeah, there's a one on Twitch which a lot of people use, which everyone calls their butler. That's because it's British.
Oh yeah.
Alfred.
Alfred.
Okay.
Alfred is awesome. Alfred is awesome.
In the UK, like you can go 20 miles up the road and end up with an entirely different accent. For a small country, it's all over the place.
For a small country, it takes a long time to get around too.
Oh yeah. Well, I think we're one of the most densely packed nations in the world.
How many are you on the island?
I think it's near 70. Hang on. It
Wow,
probably
that's
depends whether
like-
you take the official numbers or not.
Close
You
to
say this like it's a bad thing, Vatlaw. We all need a Jarvis, first of all, and he's got a great voice. Second of all, stop it.
Officially,
don't be a hater.
67.2 million
I
on a
think
tiny little island.
that's about the same as Egypt, I think.
Yeah, it's like 3 times the population of Australia, and they're massive.
Yep. I go to bed and I always go to Mark. I'm like, Mark, can you put Mahler on? And like I fall asleep to his videos.
no!
I fall asleep to his videos. My favorite is the 4-hour video of what's the recent one with Natasha? Anyways, it's 4 hours. Love it. He puts me to sleep in a nice way.
Yeah,
My
but
issue is I fall asleep to people's streams, and it's generally like people playing FPS and stuff. So I fall asleep, and then I get woken up to, I got him! It's like just screams.
I've had dreams that I've fallen asleep to listen to like Clownfish TV, and I dream of hanging out with them at a convention. It is the weirdest thing. And then I'll wake up and be like, wait, I've never met Geeky Sparkles and Neon. That's weird. It's just, yeah, it's creepy in a weird way.
Yeah.
Though I'd
That
love
is
to meet
creepy.
Geeky Sparkles and Neon. I'm a huge fan of Clownfish TV.
I love how the chat's like, it's the Black Widow one. So
Sorry.
you're not the only one that falls asleep to a 4-hour video of Mahler speaking.
Yeah, you
No,
just
no,
say 4-hour video, everyone knows the one you mean.
Yep.
I know.
Everybody.
I'm
Everybody's
sorry.
like, it's this one.
Forgot. It just every time I think at 10 or 11, my phone or YouTube knows that I want his voice lulling me to sleep.
It recommends it to you.
Wow. Yeah, it knows. Mark should be putting you to sleep. Well, I mean, everything is additive. I'm just saying.
Wait, just why does YouTube
It's
recommend to
probably
me
better
my
for
own
Mark to keep her
videos?
awake.
I don't know.
I am not. No, I keep getting recommendations where I am logged in as my YouTube channel. So I'm logged in as me, and I'm getting recommendations for my own videos. I just got a recommendation this morning for my Destiny 1 weekly reset video.
That's so weird.
I think that'd be DMCA. I think it's simply because it knows what you want, and what you want is what you would create. So if anything, it's a good recommendation
But
from an
I
AI.
made that video. I kind of know what
Yeah,
that
but yeah.
is.
But the
Maybe
AI
you're
doesn't know that. The AI just knows that this is right up your street. It's about Destiny 2, and it's got all this stuff in it.
Destiny
Yeah.
1. Destiny 1. I'm the only one left who's still making Destiny 1 stuff.
You still do the Zerv videos as well, don't you?
Mhm.
Every
People
week, yeah.
actually, those things get, for me, over close to sometimes 2,000 views,
Wow.
which for
Yeah,
me
when
is
I
a lot.
played, I used to look it up every week.
Oops. Sorry.
I just wish people would stop confusing the fact that it's Destiny 1 with Destiny 2. I still get people going, wait a minute, Zer's supposed to be here until reset. No, it's Destiny 1. He leaves on Sunday. Wait, I'll get messages at late Sunday night and be like, where's Zer? It's Destiny. It's original Destiny. How do
I'm
you
probably
confuse the
one of
towers?
them. I'm sorry. I'm a normie. I don't play games. Well,
Nothing.
You should play
Yeah, but
Destiny.
you have to be quite heavily into Destiny to even care about Zer. So
Yeah, but
Maybe. Probably.
it's original. Oh, look, I recommend it. I recommend it to everyone. The original Destiny is a great game. Right now, you can get the whole thing. You get it's a big game. Highly recommend it. Very good.
Front porch. I would listen to his open bar. Sorry, interrupting. But
Yes.
it's not sleeping material. Like it's not calm.
Well, that's true. But I'm gonna tell you something though. The critical. Oh my god, the Scottish accent. I
Wait,
can't.
Kat, do you like a
See,
Scottish
I'm surprised. The Scottish accent's quite harsh.
No, it is.
It's like,
But
no.
there's a niceness. I don't know what it is, but I love the Scottish accent. Yes, please. I could listen to a critical drinker insult me, and I would not be mad. I really wouldn't.
I mean, it's Scottish, so it's quite likely. They're
Yeah,
like
right.
the Aussies.
That's
They
exactly.
use various different insults as friendship would.
You're married to Cappy, Tux?
Wow.
Apparently Cappy drugged me and married me. I don't know when that happened, but I remember nothing.
You don't seem too concerned.
Well, because I know that all I have to do is tell Johnny, who's my Nintendo dad, that I want a divorce, and he'd say yes.
I also love that he said Nintendo Daddy, which I'm
Yeah,
the only
he
one that's
said
ever
Nintendo Daddy. I was
called
trying to
him
skip over
Nintendo
it.
Daddy.
But he said Nintendo
Daddy.
Daddy. He hates it, but he said it, so he brought it up, not anybody else, and now he gets to hear it for the rest of the stream. So that's his fault. That's his fault.
Ooh, Sean Bean's accent.
Yes.
Chat, throw your favorite accents.
Gerard Butler when he doesn't have to do it in American. Oh.
Gerard Butler. Oh,
Sean Connery, give me. The guy who plays Robb Stark in Game of Thrones. Speaking of Game of Thrones, the guy who plays Robb Stark, Richard Madden, full blown Scottish. I'm talking, can barely understand a word he says Scottish, and it's like, yes, please. I'll take.
Can I say I actually learned briefly? I stopped. I sold them, but I used to play the bagpipes.
what?
Oh, no.
That is
I mean,
so random. I love it.
I suppose I'm supposed to genetically hate them being English, but to me, no.
So, how did you get into it?
Years ago, I actually found someone in a nearby town who taught the bagpipe, and I've always loved bagpipe music. So I practiced, learned to play, but then I found that when it comes to musical instruments, I can't keep a beat, fingering. And so I know that, but funny. So finally, after get on top of the plugs, you can hear them from a mile away. Yeah, you cannot practice.
How did your family?
They
feel
did
about
not
it?
let me practice when they were home.
Oh,
I'm not surprised. It sounds like an animal dying.
Yeah, it
and
is.
Like, is that someone playing them well?
The-
Yes, it is.
The bass line.
Yeah, those are the drones,
Mm.
and it's very hard. It's not easy. You start with only one drone. You start without any drones going, and then you add them. So I finally sold them and bought my computer. But it's also, like I said, the cat. I didn't want to risk, the sound is really, really loud. But yeah,
and keeping the
stream is
bag inflated
lagging.
at all times is supposed to be really complicated when you're thinking of everything else as well. But
Yeah.
they were designed to like demoralize the English during the war, so they're meant to go for miles through hills and all kinds of stuff and change. And it's not meant to be like a pleasant sound like a piano. And I think as an Englishman, it's just built into me. The moment I hear them, I'm like, no.
but it always blows people's minds when I'm like, yeah, I learned briefly to play the bagpipes. Like, they don't expect the little Muslim woman in the headscarf to be playing the bagpipes.
Oops. I mean, it's even rare over here to find anyone that plays them.
I like the bagpipes, but they're played right. Okay, so listen to this. This is the Siri, so I have it on British, right?
Siri. Choose the voice you'd like me to use.
So this is the English woman voice, right? This one.
Hi, I'm Siri. Choose the voice you'd like me to use.
What is that? That's so
Oh.
basic. This is the men's. It's even worse.
Hi, I'm Siri. Choose the voice you'd like me to use.
Oh, that's awful.
No.
Well,
No,
That
it's-
should have been the voice that they used.
I
Listen,
agree.
Yeah, that's just like
Hi, I'm Siri.
generic.
The voice
It's
you'd
so
like me to use.
generic.
I agree.
I hate it.
It's like they don't want an accent because accents can be hard to understand. I think that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Doll, we need a stronger accent.
Well, the issue we've got is because there was a singer over here. I think she was from Newcastle, and she went over to do America's Got Talent. Got shipped back after one season because no American could understand her accent. So, especially when you get to Siri, they're just after something simple.
So you know when she's coming to kill you. When the AI take over, you need to have.
Well,
her
yeah,
speaking
I mean,
clearly.
I'm not sure I want Skynet to have a nice accent for me. I'd kind of want something that's at least instills a bit of fear. Because that guy there would just be, hi, I'm coming to and like take care of your entire family right now. If you could please leave a message after the beep, that would be fine. I was like, no thanks.
You want the robot voice from oh god, was it 20,000 Leagues where he's like, I can't do that, Dave. And you're like, oh my god.
Yes. Yeah, just completely devoid of I'm going to take out your entire family now. Thank you.
You're going to
You have used up your oxygen allowance for this year.
Oh. Great.
Okay, so there was a question. I don't understand women, and we can include Disparu in this. Do you like abs or not? You can't have it both ways. Jeez. Which I'm gonna put a post in the chat about a poll. What's your favorite body type? Slim, average, athletic. What's the thing when it's like a beer belly, but it...
The dad bod?
Dad bod.
Oh, I was going to go pregnant bod, like the Bill Gates,
Pregnant
Elon
bod.
Musk thing.
I think there's a step between like dad bod and pregnancy.
Okay, dad bod, pregnant bod. Okay, it's in the chat now. Thank you. Also, women are crazy. Chat said.
I totally agree. There's a reason. Yeah, I totally agree.
That's why it's called time of the month.
Oh, it's only at certain times of the month. I thought we were crazy all of the time.
Oh.
At least the 4. That's the rule.
At least the 4. Okay.
All these dad bods who think they have dad bods, they don't actually have dad bods. Everybody go subscribe to Johnny right now. Right now. Thank you.
Johnny, you should live stream on your Johnny 64 channel. Just saying.
Look, as someone who bikes 5 miles a day, I'll say I like athletic bodies. Just because I want someone who will play Halo with me and then go for a long bike ride.
Aw, I like that. Mark, you should go biking with me.
Do you go biking as it is?
But I used to. So, okay.
Careful what you wish for then.
So I used to, back in the day, when I lived in Toronto, I lived about a 45-minute bike to the place I worked at. So I'd actually end up biking daily to work. And I kind of miss that. I think where I live, it's a little dangerous to bike to work. And I've seen accidents.
It's great. You unwind on your way. You prepare on your way there. And then you unwind on your way home. So
I'm wondering
riding
how long
a bike over here is like taking your life in your own hands. Because there's cars everywhere.
Yeah, but it makes life exciting then, knowing that you're pretty.
Well, yeah, I mean.
Well, there's ways to like bike, like strategically, so you don't get hit, but you never know 100%.
True, I've actually been close to people are crazy. Like I'm literally across the street, in the middle of the street, and someone is stopped, and then all of a sudden, just out of a whim, it's like they start driving. It's like, wait a minute, what do you do? You literally saw me crossing right in front of you. I've had the back wheel of my bicycle hit because someone did that.
Ah, that's scary.
But it's still awesome.
Shield wall. Hey, it's about the personality at that point, okay? Oh my goodness. So it looks like we're at athletic build for 51%. I think the thing with evolutionarily, we would probably want to find a mate that is at least like semi-athletic so that they are healthy. Mm-hmm.
True.
Guys, when we say dad bod, you guys, by the way, just an FYI, when we say dad bod, we don't mean like pregnant belly could rival me at 9 months pregnant dad bod. I think some of you are taking that a little.
So you mean like Tucker Carlson bod? Because like I said, that's one of my guilty pleasures. He's on my list of hot guys, handsome guys.
Yeah, I think there's some people who are like, well, you guys say you like dad bods, but I'm like, nah. There's a line there. There's a line. Just throwing it out there. Just saying.
Yeah, and capable gentleman is right here. Oh no, where is it? Dad bod does not equal beer belly.
Okay.
I think it's just you are a little thicker, and thick is not bad in this sense. I'm thinking. Now, if we're saying obese, I'm sorry. At least not.
I mean, once you get into the like, if you're on about obese, like the medical categories, you don't have to be that much overweight before you hit obese.
No.
True.
So it's like the moment anyone would even consider calling you fat, you're already obese.
Mm-hmm.
Where would the drifter fit in all that?
Who's the drifter
From Destiny?
Oh, okay. Now I'm gonna have to see the drifter Destiny. Let's see.
Handsome.
He is.
Apparently, I have a thing for Asian guys with beards because I love the drifter and I love Jin Sakai from Ghost of Tsushima. They're on my list
I don't
too.
think he has a.
He's athletic.
He's athletic. I don't think he's dad bod.
Yeah, he's just got clothing covering it. But
Okay.
the bulk
Like
would be muscles.
He's still triangular. Like you can tell he is a Dorito.
Dorito, I like that.
I call all my like super muscular friends Doritos because back in the day when I did like muscular, I'm like, you look like a snack.
My favorite thing about bodybuilders is someone said that all bodybuilders look like a normal sized man is trying to climb out of a massive man's neck, and I can't unsee it because there is no muscles on their neck, so it just looks like someone's desperately trying to climb out of the body.
You know who looks like that, especially? Oh, what's his name? Ed from 90 Day Fiance.
No, you can't unsee it.
Thank you for that. No, I'm never gonna unsee that.
Wait,
Why'd you do that?
Do you consider? Okay, so Disparu, I'm gonna drop something in the private chat. Do you consider this guy like someone it looks like they're trying to climb out of someone's neck? Like, because he literally has no neck.
No, because he's fat.
Yes.
It requires bodybuilders because bodybuilders still have the normal size head and neck. That's the thing. Like they've got big massive shoulders, big massive arms, chest, and everything else, but their neck and their face stays the same size, which is why it looks like a normal sized person trying to climb out someone else's body.
Wait! Why are you guys doing this to me? I'm never gonna unsee this guy.
Ed, oh my god, he was from 90 Day Fiance, which is one of our like favorite shows, and he is a character. So I'm watching the season that he started on, and he's like this like 4'11", and he is not charismatic at all. I thought at least if he was nice, I'd be like, oh my god, so endearing, so adorable. But he is a hateful little man. I don't like him.
This is why I play hundreds of hours of Destiny too. I don't watch that. Thank you for pushing it, encouraging me further to play even more Destiny 2 and Warframe.
Like as the brain soap.
I need to play Destiny 2 right now. Thank you. I need to clean my brain out.
Yeah, don't skip leg day. If you are a bodybuilder, do not skip leg day. It just looks so
someone
silly.
said that about the Thor photo from the new trailer, the Thor photo where he like flicks and his clothes fly off.
That is my favorite.
He skipped leg day.
That is my favorite scene in that whole movie. It's like the most realistic scene in the entire Thor franchise, to be honest.
Kat, how do you feel about that scene?
We'll be like,
I
hello.
know the scene. I'll admit, I unlike everyone else who was a fan of Loki after them, I was always a fan of Loki. So when I knew he was going to lose in Thor, I was like, I don't want to see Loki lose.
Just
watch the
trailer.
TV series?
Loki, I watched the first few episodes.
Oh, he loses in that too.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah. It gets worse, don't worry. you went out at the right point.
Southern Belle, I'll drop it in the chat, by the way.
First of all, well, this is kind of a small photo. He does not skip leg day. What are you guys talking about? Honestly, what are you talking about?
I agree. He does not.
He's
Looks
not
like he-
skip leg day. What are
I
you
love where they've placed the arrow.
I know. I don't know why. I picked up the first photo that I
Like you
saw,
can
to
tell
be
this is
honest.
a thumbnail.
I just picked up the first photo I saw. And you know what? At least we get to see his body that he's been working on for how many years now. And we get to see that again instead of that stupid fat suit. I can't. Ugh.
Oh, that picture of him. Sorry,
I miss his Thor,
you know
yeah.
how men sexualize women. That moment is like, and this is where I say equality, guys. Please go back to equality. I'm okay
I'm
with
perfectly
sexy
okay
women.
with this scene, but I don't mind the sexualizing of women in movies necessarily either. Like it doesn't, like if this were a female character and this was role, like it wouldn't bother me personally. But
No.
but I'm glad he's back to his old Thor self, and he looks like his old Thor self with the hair. I just wish it wasn't Taika. Taika
So
sucks.
if you got with a guy
And Jason
and he looked
Statham
like
is
that,
gorgeous.
And what?
and
Sorry.
if you got with a guy and he looked like Thor, and you found out that the only reason he looked that way is because he was on steroids, is that a problem?
No.
How dare you.
No.
Oh.
Because he'd have to be on steroids for
well,
his life to keep that
his
body.
man parts wouldn't work.
Oh, his name.
No, they do. It's just
Barely.
parts of them shrink.
Sometimes, yeah. I
Barely.
mean, that's
I
that's
didn't know
what I
that.
wanted. That's
Yeah,
not.
Cat's like
because
because
The only way you get a body like that is steroid.
Mm.
There are pictures of like guys that work out like normally, and they're toned and stuff, but you don't look like that.
So I dated a muscular, like very bodybuilder-esque muscular guy. I didn't like the diet and the restrictions that
Oh, it's a
was
way of
imposed.
life.
So
Yeah.
I can't date someone that does that. I think it's too much. I think healthy is good. Healthy is great. And muscles are nice to look at, but that doesn't make a person. I mean, yes, whatever. I did enjoy looking at it, but will I like being with it? That is
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing though too is the bodybuilders, I mean, some of them juice, not all of them do, and you can tell the difference, but what it is a lot of the time, honestly, what it is a lot of the time is cutting water. And so like if you know anybody that's a bodybuilder, if you're friends with that, like I have friends, she's dated them, she knows this, is the before show, they will not drink water. They'll do like droplets. And that's it, because water weight is a real thing. And so that what that does is that makes you look bloated, that makes you look fat, that makes you look chunky or whatever. So a lot of these guys, here you go, capable gentlemen. A lot of these guys, when they get that cut look, that big, that cut thing is because, especially right before showtime, is because they're eating like this very super strict thing of whatever foods, but they're also not drinking. They literally don't drink water. It's awful. Like it's not healthy at all. But this is Statham in the movie The Meg, which I enjoyed. So he was in his mid 50s for this movie. I think he's a little bit older now, but mid 50s or so. And you can tell like he's great. Like he works out.
Mm-hmm.
As long as he's not obese, as long as he's handsome, but not, I mean, you don't need, can actually lift you over the threshold, plays Destiny 2.
All right. So
I clearly have my priorities again. Warframe. Look, I will go with Warframe as well.
You'll settle for Warframe.
I play Warframe too. I don't have a problem. Halo.
Oh my gosh. I love it.
Look, as long as the game has guns in it, I'm happy.
I think that concludes most guys then at that point.
Yeah.
Okay, so capable gentlemen asks, so ladies, men in the chat want to know, do you need to be chiseled? Are we okay being squishy? I'm okay with squishy. As long as you're healthy. No overly obese. A little squish is okay.
A little squish being the cute words there. And same for us girls though. I mean, we really need to step up our game too. We've gotten all
Yeah. This whole body positivity thing. Yeah.
No one believes it. Not a single person believes anything they're saying with that. Well, there are some which were already attracted to it in the first place, but everyone else is like, no.
I just think that the whole idea that like no fat shaming, like I don't ever want to hurt someone's feelings, because if you accept who you are and that's who you want to be, all the power to you. That's fine. But if you start saying like, if you go on a diet that's fat shaming, I think that's taking it over the line.
Though I'll say I really appreciate them though, because it reminds me every time there's this ad that keeps repeatedly popping up on YouTube for Dove antiperspirant, and at the end there's this large jiggly woman dancing and showing off her pits.
Bit.
And every time I see that, I'm reminded that I need to bike more and
Wait,
watch
are they
what I
hairy
eat.
too?
No, they're not.
Okay.
Thank God. But when you are that happy about your antiperspirant and you're going, it's like, oh, okay. But then she jiggles a lot. She needs to lose some. It's like, thank you for reminding me that I need to bicycle even more. And
Yeah.
I don't need that chocolate today. I can go without the chocolate bar.
Slightly squishy is the key word here, friends. Slightly.
Yeah, but
squishy.
I actually think that jiggle is a good word. It's like there should be no jiggle.
Yes. And she's
Except
very
in the
jiggly.
booty.
Except here?
No.
In the
No.
booty.
Wait,
No.
Disparu, what about here?
Oh well, that's entirely different.
We're doing-
That's an entirely
here.
different question.
Jiggle here and jiggle in the booty, but not like
No,
you. I'm not talking
No,
like
I'm a
booty
I'm a child of the
he's a
90s,
chess
right?
guy. He's a chess guy. We've talked about
Well,
this.
it's not that. It's my favorite comedy of all time is The British Coupling, and in that there was a woman whose entire first series character and most of it for the rest of the series was the fact that she constantly had a hang up about her arse. It was constantly growing in size, and she didn't want it to because she wanted it to remain small and like muscular. And then somehow, since then in the 90s to now, things have changed where people are like, no, massive. I just want massive.
Okay, we talked about this, and I'm glad we brought it. I specifically brought it up, but I'm glad we're talking about it again because I'm gonna pull up some pictures because I think what people are thinking when you say that is you like small, like no booty at all, which I don't think is what you
Muscular.
maybe that's not what you mean.
Mm.
This I think is what you mean. I don't know. If this is-
Essentially, no jiggle. Like if you move, it should stop when you stop moving.
You're
Yeah.
talking about like
There's a
this
difference between
squat-
muscle and
the
not muscle.
squat booty,
Squat
right?
booty?
Where the girls have done the squats. It's not
As long as it's muscle.
injections. Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
injections like Kim Kardashian, but it's not this flat either. It's like this. When we do our squats, we build
It's
like this peach,
lifted.
like a peach. That peach muscular.
Yeah,
booty.
but I'm also less concerned about like, if someone's like, oh, it's a flat, as long as it's muscular, I don't really care. As long as
Yeah,
it doesn't like, if it jiggles, I think that's wrong. That's the word I think is the perfect term because jiggle means fat essentially because
Yeah.
there's no tone.
Yeah.
That's that.
I'm
There,
like
right there.
testing.
So
Jiggle, jiggle,
I'll
jiggle.
say one of my favorite British comedies was Blackadder.
There's
Love
oh
it.
yeah, absolutely. And there's an
Like
interesting
squat
thing with
booty.
this. You know how scientists essentially study things that everyone already knows,
Oh,
but then
no.
we'll just come out and go, "Well, we've proven it now." There was a thing where they said that people don't actually. Well, there's a Jimmy Carr joke where it's just something like,
Oops.
scientists could cure anything, but instead they're too busy trying to work out how many sweets it takes to choke a kestrel. But there's a whole thing of people don't actually care that much about the ass. It's the curvature of the spine which they're concerned with because that's about pregnancy. And so they're genetically involved in having a certain angle. And you can change that by either just how you hold yourself or by being more muscular. And
I
so
think
that's where it all came from.
That makes sense. Yes, us girls like.
I'm
booty
not
too.
describing fat, no.
Us
With the
girls
PH or
like
F.
booty too. Why do you think us girls watch baseball? Hello.
I don't. Nothing
Oh, well,
exciting
you should
happens.
start because the booty is.
No, but nothing exciting happens. Look, if things were to go
No.
whoosh randomly in the middle of a baseball game, then maybe I might. Like I said, I like video games with guns in them. Nothing exciting happens in
Oh,
baseball.
here you go. Here you go, Disparu.
I am against the
Disparu.
Kim K. Yeah.
No, it's true. It's true. What Disparu was saying. So I remember someone was saying that it's not about the butt. It's about okay. So if you build your lats, you get that curvature more, and it accentuates that. And a lot of men love that.
They even worked out the exact angle, and then they took it into biology as in what helps pregnancy the most, and it was the perfect angle. It's like men have essentially been perfectly evolved machines that anything which is about childbirth or fertility, they just recognize and are attracted to. Like, what is it? Rosy cheeks. Why do women put rouge on the cheeks? It's because of flush. That's to do with fertility windows and stuff. So everything that women do essentially to attract men generally revolves around fertility in some way.
Hmm.
All right.
That
was-
is fascinating and
Dang.
not wrong. I need
So
to read these studies.
I was looking at this poll. So I said, what type of man are you? Front, back, or both? So majority, 60% both. Where if we're just comparing front and back, most people prefer the front. It's all about the boobs.
Okay.
I would like to know what girls like now. Just out of
I
curiosity.
like boobs.
Capable gentleman, the hourglass shape. Yes.
Yep.
Feeling your. Ah.
Yes, no, it is completely. If you look at women's bodies, like you can have the booty, but if you don't have the curvature down, you don't get that hourglass shape as much.
Huh. Well,
And
I
it
mean,
creates that tiny waist look.
But
Yeah, you gotta
also,
build-
throughout
you gotta
all of
build
this,
here.
you do have to bear in mind. I think this was in coupling as well, where essentially it said something along the lines of, women want a guy who's earning 6 figures, who's strong and sensitive, caring, and also won't do anything. Who'll take charge, but also allow them to get everything they want. Whereas men are just happy if you're naked. So it's
Oh my
it's
God.
not the same kind of conversation.
There was like some Tinder profile that was like 6-pack, 7 figures, and then 8 something. And I'm just like, you aren't even that like. What do you bring to the table that is worth
yeah.
someone like that?
That's an entirely different discussion, and that gets into online dating and stuff and how that's changed.
Oh God. I
Group
mean,
dynamics.
okay, guys, I've prepared some topics, and an hour and a half in, I've maybe gotten to online dating, which was my first topic.
Did you like that segue? I see. Did you like that?
Ooh's got your back. Ooh's got your back.
wait. So why am I getting? Okay, look at me. Look at me. I'm wearing hijab. I'm a Muslim woman, obviously, right? Why am I getting Tinder bots in my live streams? Especially when I mention, like, no one will know who this is, but Viso, a video game character, who's literally wearing an entire spacesuit, and all you see is his face. And yet, every time we mention Viso, all of a sudden, I get the Tinder bots.
Really?
What the heck is a Tinder bot?
Is it like the?
They're not specifically targeting your words. It's got nothing to do with what you do. They just go around YouTube streams and put the same message in everything. And they'll get banned and eventually get banned for everything, and then they make a new one. So it is a coincidence rather than what you're saying.
Where did you go? Where are you? There you are. I knew that was gonna summon you. I knew it the minute she said, "What do you bring to the table?" I was like, somewhere CJ's spidey sense is tingling.
I bring my
somewhere.
KD.
Because
I bring my
this is the
KD.
exact- this is the exact thing. He watches a lot of. I've talked to you about Fresh and Fit, X-Ray Girl. The Fresh and Fit. Every single time these guys ask girls, "Well, what do you bring to the table that thinks that you deserve?" 6-figure man with blah 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 and all the stuff that you want, and they always go, "Well, I am the table." And you're like, what does that mean?
I've never had anyone say that, but that would I'd be walking out the door immediately
I
if
am
someone
the
said that to
table.
me.
And you're like, what?
Yeah.
It's like what?
It's a common attitude, but I exist, and I'm giving you my time and my company, and that should be enough. It's
Yeah.
like, no, no.
So you're saying
That may
you're
work
a
when you're
body
20. It doesn't work later.
that you can have the fun times with. That's literally it.
Yeah, that's
It's
basically what
like-
they're saying when they say that.
It's like the whole meal question. If you get any of the people where they're like, well, I go on 7 dates a week, so I eat for free every day. And if
Oh
you
my
ever
God, I
ask them,
hate
well,
people
why?
like that.
Yeah, but if you ask them, like, why are they doing that? Why do they think they're justified in doing that? They would go, well, I spend time with him. I give him my time. And they literally see it as like a monetary transaction between the two.
If
And then
that's
get
the case-
surprised when the men are treating it the same way as well.
If that's the
Yeah.
case, you should be like, okay, Firefly, a companion or whatever version of that is today, which I guess is like escort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Took me a while to realize you were talking about the TV show.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, just be an escort at that rate. You'll make more money, girl.
Mm.
Instead of just a meal. A meal could be like $20.
Yeah, but then they would have to put out and stuff, whereas with the meal, they don't have to.
Well, you don't have to put out with an escort either.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
you
you
have to make that
kind of-
clear, but for the most part, it is. It's exactly what Inara does, where she sleeps with them and
What was it?
the most part.
There was a TV show where Westworld. There was a TV show. They go into Westworld, and there's like a brothel over there, and they were talking to one of the women, and she said, "At least we're honest. We put our prices on the door."
yes, exactly,
Ah.
exactly.
And
Yep.
that's the kind of thing with an escort. It's like you will know in advance.
Yeah, and to be fair, I do think those types of relationships, if you compare them to like the beginning of some of the Tinder relationships you hear of, they're more honest.
Mm-hmm.
It was also, I can't remember, the Tom Cruise, Reacher, where one of my favorite scenes in Reacher is where they're in the bar and she's talking to him and he's like, I can't afford you. And she's like, I'm not a hooker. He's like, well, in that case, I really can't afford you. I don't get it. He's like, no, a hooker would have understood the joke.
No, yeah.
I mean, I think in a way though, I'm pretty I mean, my price is pretty. I mean, it's pretty obvious with me when you're kind of dating with a Muslim. It's kind of like you're hoping for marriage. You know, you're not hoping for a couple months. It's basically you wait, and for at least in my case, I'm kind of pretty obviously not exactly going to be randomly hooking up with people for a one night stand and then going off because can't do that.
But I love that honesty when you date, because you don't get that from like online apps. There's this song and dance that people play, like they pretend they want a relationship, and as soon as you're like, drop the act, this is about whatever, then they're like, oh well, I'm not interested anymore, or they get the act and then they're not interested, and it's like well,
that is because they're forced to, because essentially the moment you go to online dating, right, if you think back to the 1960s or the 80s, even before like mobile phones and the internet, what would your dating pool be? It would be things in your local area, people within a certain radius of you. If you go back to the car, it would be people in your town. And so people would either settle more or be less picky. But the moment you go online, now everyone wants their perfect person. Because they think, well, I can choose from 70 million people in the country. Or if I'm willing to travel, I can choose from 7 billion people on the planet, And then you can be really picky. And so I think that's raised standards. And there's also, alongside that, there's a strange thing which has happened where people think that they're more attractive than they are. And so if you're supposed to date somewhere within your kind of bracket, but you think you're a 10 simply because you can get a 10 because he couldn't do any better that night, then, you're going to have unrealistic expectations.
Such a good point.
Well, yeah, because men aren't picky. So the man will go for whatever he could get that night. But so
men really aren't that picky. They really aren't.
No, and you have brought up, Lynn, we were chatting last weekend about the whole, this person has the gateway to this and females have which I
women
totally
control
ruined.
Access to sex, men control access to relationship.
Yes.
Yep. It's true.
It is true.
Look at CJ. You're speaking CJ's language, right? I hear this all the time from him.
oh, yeah. I don't know whether you want me to use the actual term that I heard, but it's an amazing term.
But the other thing is, like, it's not just like looks, and then that's the thing that some of these women don't get, is that their personality is sour when they think they're a 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
well, one of the reasons is you find this a lot. If you're a 10, and you don't even have to be aware of it, but if you are a 10, things have come so easy for you, you kind of don't need to have developed a personality to attract anyone. This is one of the reasons, like, if this is why, like, fat guys are renowned for being funny. Why? Because they needed to develop a personality to get anywhere. Yeah. So it's one of the things. You do find that people get lazier the more attractive they are because things just came out easy.
As long as it's not the creepy stalker type who can be a little pervy, which I've had to deal with.
Oh no!
I love that that's your bar. Well, as long as
and no, because just yeah.
So Kat's list is Destiny, not creepy,
not pervy,
not pervy.
Knows what the corpus is. Warframe. Game.
It's the little robots, isn't it?
No, the corpus are a merchant cult who worship profit.
Okay, so Disparu, you're out of the running already.
Bye.
I thought the corpus were the little robot dudes.
Oh no, the robots are part of the corpus, but that's the automatic robotic proxies because they have a small population. But it's primarily a profit-driven merchant cult.
Look at the chats like.
I actually have. No. On a serious thing, I actually have what you could essentially call rules for life. I call them my filters.
I want to hear this.
I'm impressed
they're
know
not
about
like
mowing.
Codified. I don't have like number things. It's just the things where throughout my life I've either worked out I can't stand something, or there's certain other people call them like red flags and stuff. Yeah. But I found that whenever I go against certain things, it always ends badly 100% of the time. And I've deliberately, like, when someone hits a red flag and you ignore it, 'cause you're like, no, I'll give them a chance. And then you're like, that's the problem afterwards.
Yep. Oh, wow.
So I think especially as you age, you get used to just trusting your experience more than anything else.
Can I just say I'm impressed you know about the MOAs? That's impressive. That's a very detailed thing to know about Warframe, that they have the little robots.
I used to play. I played Warframe when it first launched. I've not played it much since, but when it very, very first launched, the only reason I never went back to it is because they completely wiped my account and then told me they didn't do it, and I got annoyed with support. I'm like,
it's gotten really good. I mean, like AAA content.
yeah, it's got open world and stuff. I know about it.
Yeah, and the new war is pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of flaws in the new war, but it's still. I would place the battle between Viso and the Jackal above the battle with Savathun in Destiny 2 because it's actually creatively done versus Savathun was a bullet sponge. Total bullet sponge.
Yeah. My issue with the Destiny 2 story is they drag it out over every single expansion, like
season.
Battle Pass kind of. Yes, season. And so I only play for like the first week of a season, and then after that I'm bored, and I don't want to keep coming back 2 weeks later to get drip fed the next thing. So
my issue is the fact that they're turning the bad guys into friends. I don't play Destiny.
That's a theme everywhere. Evil
I want
will now be good.
The Hive are not our friends. The Fallen are not our friends. The Cabal are not our friends, except with my bullets.
All bad guys are misunderstood, don't you know?
No, they're not. They are not misunderstood. They deserve it.
They're misunderstood.
Yeah, CJ, with me, if like the reason you have filters and stuff are to get people from to stop them being in a relationship with you in the first place, you know? So you shouldn't be having red flags that you only meet in a relationship. That seems like a bit too late, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's to filter people out of your life, which essentially make your life worse than better.
I've always said this: friendships and relationships are very similar. It's just, of course, the intimacy that you have with the person. You should not have toxic friends around, just like you should not be dating a person that is toxic.
What's Hinge? I don't think we have that over here.
So OkCupid is hot garbage. OkCupid is the original Tinder back in my day. OkCupid is like the original
and for people
Tinder.
that cheat.
And then there's Plenty of Fish, which used to be really bad. But now, I feel like now it's kind of leveled out, but then it gets, I mean, it's a hot mess. But
the best description I heard of Plenty of Fish is, why would you want to date someone that won't even pay for a dating site?
Right? No, that's Bumble. Bumble is the one that's woman initiated. So if you match with somebody, only the woman can make the first move. That's Bumble, I think.
Oh, the first message, yes. Or one of them is like that.
Hinge is the one that their tagline is, we're the dating app that's meant to be deleted. It's
that's a good tagline.
Yeah, it's specifically for people who are looking for long-term marriage, like that, long-term in leading into marriage relationships. And so their app, their whole tagline is, we're the app that's meant to be deleted. And we hope we go out of business one day. Like, that's their business model. They want to go out of business one day. That's their whole thing. I've not been on that one. I've heard good things about Hinge, but I don't do apps, which probably is a problem.
It's like it's very clean looking. Like when I've used Hinge, it's not messy, and they ask some like weird questions that might incur a conversation, which it's great. Like a conversation starter is great. It's like, I'm trying to remember one of the questions that I had when I was using it, but you know, and Johnny is right. People have lost the idea that we are meant to grow and mature together. The person you marry will not be the same person 20 years later. And I've been very adamant about this. This is you. You have to make sure you move together as you age.
But they require, although I've heard from many people that women are more malleable in their beliefs than men. And like they've dated someone that was like a raving sort of left-wing SJW kind of thing, and eventually they kind of turned across. I don't think it happens the other kind of way, but I think the most fundamental aspect of it is your beliefs. So if you go into a relationship and like on any of the big issues, and people are like, well, you can't talk politics. Politics is simply your belief systems for how people should conduct themselves in the world. And I
Ah.
think if you get with someone where you have a disagreement about those, like the fundamental aspects of how you should conduct yourself through life, you're asking for trouble, especially if you think, well, we'll just, in the long term, change, you know?
Mhm.
And when it comes to like kids and what should happen to the kids, how the kids should be raised,
Yeah.
I wouldn't leave that up to just, well, in time will change.
Yeah,
Personally.
yeah. I hate when people say that, like he'll change his mind. Like what?
Yeah, getting with
Which
someone
is-
to fix them, I think, is a terrible idea.
Which is why my religion encourages people to marry people of the same religion. They
Yeah.
encourage you to marry
Yeah,
a
because
Muslim.
fundamental belief system. Yeah, I agree.
Which I totally agree with, because I've always said this, like, you know, between kids and religion and where you want to live, those are my 3 big red flags. If we don't align on those things, like, it's never gonna happen. It is never gonna happen. Political beliefs are kind of, I feel like the more I am on the internet, the more I feel like you kind of do have to have similar political beliefs.
Well, when I say that, I don't mean like who should be the next leader. It's like it's a fundamental system of how you conduct your way through the world and what you believe is right and wrong, essentially. Because
Well,
it's
I've
about how
seen- Oh,
how
go ahead.
society should be controlled.
Yes.
That comes down to your own personal morality, and everyone does not have the same morality. They
No.
don't think the same right and wrong.
Mm.
And so that's all politics is. It's just politics are on a national scale. Your beliefs are on your own level.
Like how you
Um,
spend your money, and that's with government and your personal,
Mhm.
and like that really does matter, because some people have like literally broken up, especially around since the pandemic happened, you know. It's
Oh,
really
yeah.
drawn a line, like this whole like BLM. I think that was like the hottest topic in terms of political stuff. We won't get into it specifically, but like one of my favorite bachelor couples, Becca Kufrin and Garrett, they literally broke up over that. They were like so cute and amazing together, but like that was just like the final straw in their relationship.
And you should know that kind of stuff before going in. One of the
Oh, yeah.
greatest divorce, like periods for divorce in a year, is Christmas, because everyone's on holiday and spending time together.
Yeah.
You should know fun. Like I see the world and kind of anything as you've got the fundamental kind of foundations of anything and your beliefs, and then everything else is a pyramid upwards. But if you disagree on that foundational level, no. And especially if you get married, it's like saving yourself from a life of hell, essentially. As you'll just agree and disagree and argue and everything. And when you're talking about politics and stuff, you're even coming down to how much the government should interfere in your child's upbringing, which can have an entirely different, like, even down to who owns the child. Is it you or the state? So this isn't minor things. You should have an opinion on it.
And Johnny is right here too.
Amen, Johnny.
Belief shapes my politics, beliefs, and even daily decisions.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's a very like tricky. It's not even that tricky. It's pretty black and white. Just people think that, you know, they can change people, and I don't think that's a good outlook in life. At least with your main things that make you who you are.
Well, and also one of the
Amen.
things. No, well, one of the things, and I remember my father telling me this story, is there's a level of trust so men and women each have different kind of responsibilities in Islam towards each other. So you know when you're married to a Muslim that the man you're marrying knows his duties in front of God. So even if he knows what he will his as part of the religion. So you kind of you have a level of trust that you had to that's like I think my dad told a story where he got into an argument with my mom and she left him a note message saying something like, remember God, because there's a certain level of responsibility where we believe you will face God on judgment. And if you don't meet those responsibilities, well, you're going to face God and be judged. So that's why there's a kind of level of trust I would have more for someone, and I don't mean to offend anyone, for someone who's
No.
Muslim over someone who isn't Muslim,
No.
simply because I know they know those responsibilities.
Yeah. Yeah.
The idea that people don't have their own roles is a very, very, very recent one. I say that like you got to the 90s, that existed. that men and women had different roles. You can go back to 2014, and that was still a standard attitude.
It really was.
Yeah.
I mean, it started to fade, I think, about that time. Well, I would say that 2000s and stuff, it started to
We'll
fade
call it
slowly.
flexible.
Yeah, it was affected,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's very like recent years where it's like no, everyone's just interchangeable and they're all exactly the same and no one's different. That's a very recent attitude.
Yeah.
And like especially because right now, we'll get deep into this, but like the whole like pronouns and there's different alphabets and how do you navigate a relationship when it's like you don't have these traditional roles? It all comes down to communication, which I think even just regular male-female relationships kind of lack, and that's why some people don't work out very well because it's all about communication. You know, what do you bring to the relationship? I've always said you should do the things that you're best at or that you love doing, and then from there divvy up the responsibilities. Which it's worked for me in this current relationship, but it took time to reach that point. You know,
I think it's the height of arrogance to think that some 20-something person which has gone through a university education suddenly knows more about society, the world, biology, and how everyone goes together than literally like at least hundreds of thousands of years of evolution. You know, like we organize things for thousands of years a certain way for a reason. And just to come along and think, no, I know better than literally every single other person that's ever lived combined. It's like, no. That's why I like tradition, right? If you go back to tradition, traditions are built up through each person throughout all of history adding their own little part of their knowledge and wisdom onto that tradition. Whereas if you decide to get rid of that and come up with your own thing, the best amount of wisdom and knowledge you have is yours. So you lose the combined wisdom of every single other person that's ever lived, and you think you're better than that in totality.
That is like a teenager's arrogance, actually, is hearing you
Yes.
say that. That's something I would have done in my teenage years. My mom's like, you know, you shouldn't do this, this, and this, blah, 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 because of reason why. And I'd be like, what do you know?
Yeah, you don't know nothing.
This is why you get more traditional as you get older, because you get wiser and you realize that actually, as I've got older, I have gained knowledge that I didn't have when I was younger. So probably all these people throughout all of history probably did as well. And so just to get rid of all of that and start from scratch is probably a bad idea.
What is
I'm way
going to
more traditional now in
happen?
my mid-30s than I was 5 years ago, even. Way more
I would
traditional
love
now.
to see in 10 years, 10 to 20 years, we'll call it that, what Gen Z, we'll call it that generation, because that feels like that's
The Tide
the
Pod
most, like,
eaters.
the people who I've seen the most vocal about this sort of
Yes.
They
non-traditional
lick
stuff.
toilet seats.
Yeah.
That's freaking
They
nasty.
That was another trend they did.
Wait! Whoa! There was I know about the Tide Pods. You're telling
Yeah.
me they leaked?
There was
Toilet-
a
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
a
it was a
couple-
TikTok challenge licking public
Yeah.
toilet seats.
She got
A couple of
COVID
years
from
ago,
it, right?
when everything
What?
kicked off, that's what it was.
That
They
was
were
awful.
like, oh, that was the challenge.
They licked toilet.
Toilet seats, yeah.
There were people on TikTok doing it on airplanes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, the children are our future. All I'm saying is maybe the parents didn't do the best of jobs.
It's bad. It's so bad.
We broke her.
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
Yeah, it was
I
a
have
TikTok
ideas about
challenge.
kids and everything. I was like,
Yeah.
I can talk about this stuff for hours.
How? Why? Who thought of this? Did they end up? Did they get dropped on their head as an infant? Did they have some kind of
One girl ended up, I think, with the beer bug. Another guy ended up with an infection because he didn't know he had like a cut or something in his mouth. Oh yeah. All about, what were they, like 18, 19, like the early 20s?
Oh yeah, they were TikTok users. So yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
standard age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Generation Tide
doomed.
Pod, as I like to
We're
call them.
doomed. There's no one going to be left. We are going extinct.
Do you want to know my favorite one? My favorite trend that they did was there was a guy in like some Far Eastern country. It was really cold. And he showed a video where if you get boiling water and throw it out into freezing cold water, it just kind of evaporates into the air and it doesn't
Oh
land.
yeah.
So then you got a load of people in America and other countries, which isn't as cold, and they got boiling water, threw it off a window, and loads of them were like in heavy wind and stuff, obviously it didn't go into the air, and people had like boiling water pour on them. Like, ah, it burns. It's like, yeah, of course it does. What were you expecting when you threw boiling water in the air? It's like there are some things where you're like, well, no one can save you from yourself. But this is the issue, right? That there was a case of, and I think it started with bullying essentially. Everyone was told if you've got a problem with bullying, go to a school teacher, and then that morphed into from people having lower kids and stuff, so kids had more value. That you now get into the point of always seek an authority figure if anything goes wrong. So then they grow up, and the authority figure becomes the police or the state, and everything needs to be solved by someone else. Well, then you end up with people that can't conduct their own lives because they've always been told something or asked somebody, or if they've got any issue, someone else will solve it for them. Compare that to like the 60s, where they just let you go out into a field, and if you've climbed up a tree and fell off, you broke your leg and they solved the problem. It's an entirely different upbringing. But then people used to have like 4 or 5 kids, and so I think naturally you're less protective of them.
Yeah. I think this natural selection has decreased, at least for humans.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Because
medicine has really warped that.
Like
really modern
I
medicine.
love this example. Women's birthing hips. For like, you know, we have so many people delivering via C-section now. So
Too many.
It's like
there's a whole
doesn't
thing
matter
about that
anymore.
as well, where someone was looking at why do we have more allergies and stuff. It says the first time that a baby will come into contact with various different like biological substances is through the birth canal. So if you have a C-section and just remove it, then it doesn't come into contact with all that, so it doesn't.
It literally is.
And then it starts to get asthma and things.
Yep.
Certain immunoglobulins that you get. Sorry, we're getting specific. That I learned that you get from that, as well as breast milk.
Yes, breast milk is full of all of that stuff that you need to help your immune system. And this formula shortage, I never realized what the crap that was in formula that you buy at the store. I'm like, you should be feeding your baby this anyway. Like, what?
But like, okay, I don't want
to.
Like, for people who can't produce milk, I see why there is a need for that. But now we're not using it for that.
That's what I've seen. There's a lot of disingenuous arguments about it when people have been like, well, you should just press. That's not, they don't mean that everyone can or should. What they mean is if everyone that can did, and then maybe supplemented or anything else, then there would still be plenty to go around.
And even if you can't, even if you can't breastfeed, there have been like, even in the 80s before formula was around, but you can use evaporated milk and you water it down. You can use animal milk and water it down. Like, you don't have to use stuff that's processed in a lab. Like, this whole formula shortage thing, I've been seeing these things pop up on my Instagram and stuff. I'm like, holy cow. Like, I don't have children. So I've never looked at the labels, but looking at the labels, like, what the heck? Like, I'd rather buy breast milk off my neighbor than feed my kid with this pan. Like, holy cow.
Oh my God. Well, I know in Canada, there are organizations that do help with that. And it's more of a like a donation basis. So they donate to this like company or charity. We'll call it charity. And then they direct the milk to people who can't do it. Produce milk.
But Southern Belle brings up a good point, because so the women who couldn't breastfeed back in the day, and I'd say they Disparu, 60s, 70s, even as late as wet nurses were a huge thing.
Oh yeah,
way back in the day. But they're still I don't know about now, but it's 60s for sure. There were still wet nurses. If you could not breastfeed, there were women out there that could lactate on cue, and we're just like, here. Take my kid is already eating big food. Here, take my breast milk. Or I lost my baby, but I'm still producing milk. Take my milk. And they had wet nurses. And that I think was the difference. We've put them now. There's so many women who put these babies on this chemical. It's not a good, it's just not. Like, look it up yourself. Like, the ingredients, I had no idea. I had no clue. I'm like, oh my God, this is all like fake stuff. There's nothing in this formula that is real. There's nothing in here. It's not even cream. There's nowhere in this ingredient list that says cream, like nothing. It's all phospholate and this and hexaflin gum and stuff I can't pronounce. It's like, holy cow, what are we giving our babies?
It's because in recent time, if anything, the attitude has been that baby formula is superior than anything else. because,
Interesting.
a guy specifically designed it, and so therefore it must be better than anything nature does. And I think people forget that nature has been perfecting things for literally thousands of years. And so, no, your scientist guy down the road doesn't know better than all the years of evolution.
It's just, I feel like, okay, well, with formula, it's the next best thing and should only be used if you can't.
Yeah.
And I think that, like some things, it's been used as a choice now, one or the other.
Yeah.
Well, it reminds me of the Dyson fans and the Dyson stuff because we have advertisements for Dyson and it's like it kills 99.9% of allergens. It's like, yeah, but that's actually not a good thing.
Right.
And the worst part was listening to a guy who represents Dyson talking to customers, and it's like you're lying to them. And I don't think he was aware of it. But it's like those $500 air purifiers are like, wait, that's actually not a good thing, really.
If you live in a bubble, what happens when you remove the bubble? Yeah.
Right, exactly. I think we're learning that, especially after the beer bug the last couple of years, with people that were so isolated that took it like super seriously and isolated themselves so completely, and they come out and they get sick immediately. And it's like, hello, you know what I mean? That's it. Yeah. Goat milk. Yes. So I found this actually, and I sent it to a girl I follow on Instagram. She's got a YouTube channel, Rebecca Barrett, CJ, you know who she is. Rebecca Barrett, she just had a baby and she can't breastfeed. She can't. I think her problem is she doesn't breastfeed, like she doesn't lactate enough. I think that's her problem. So she's been supplementing formula in between feeding times because she just isn't producing enough. And she's obviously having a hard time with formula. But I saw this Instagram thing where this woman was like, look, if you can't find formula, get these ingredients. This is the recipe. You can make formula at home. And with using natural ingredients, here's the recipe. And I sent it to her. And that was the primary ingredient was goat's milk. The goat's milk seems to be like the standard be all for this sort of situation. And it's like, oh, that's interesting. I have goat's milk in the fridge downstairs. It's actually really good. I tried it and I was like, oh, this is pretty yummy. So
I love
more digestible.
Oat milk and almond milk.
Mm-hmm.
But
the problem with that is as a baby is it doesn't provide you with the
as an adult it's great.
Yeah.
But anyways, there's a couple of super chats I just want to get through.
Sorry.
Don't worry. For $2, a 6-pack is for lonely people. A keg is for a party. Wow. I love that. Thank you, Jeremy Murray. Which, by the way, I cannot wait to hear about your next date.
I know, me too. I'm so happy it worked for you. I'm so happy. I know he was like, I'm so glad he didn't listen to Tugs. I'm like, I know.
JS Pena for $1.99. Tugs, it's 2001, A Space Odyssey, not 20,000 Leagues. What
did I say? 20,000 Leagues in Space or something stupid? Yeah, I meant that. Y'all know what I meant. You know what I meant.
And it's Chewy for $5 says, on an unrelated note, Sports with Balls will have its 200th episode streaming live tomorrow. What's up, Jeff Michael and Lauren Leal? Your love and life, Lauren Leal. Never seen that name so often.
I know. One of these days, Chewy's gonna marry Lauren Leal, and we're gonna be like, that makes sense.
It all makes sense. But yeah. All right. I guess we'll wind the stream down. Tugs, do you have anything to plug?
Nothing to plug. Tomorrow's Thursday. I haven't decided if I think I'm gonna take tomorrow off. Friday I might go live during the day, but I'm going out of town this weekend. So I won't be streaming Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. So they're basically the whole weekend. Or Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday, and Monday. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
No girls stream this Saturday because
no girls stream this Saturday, so that's canceled. I won't be back in town until late Monday night. So if I go live again after that, it'll be our Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
DJ Direwolf with the Corgi heart fan sticker. Thank you.
Oh, he's so cute. His little heart fans.
I wish there was a way you could like collect those because people sometimes send them to me and you can have them like show them off.
So freaking adorable. Okay, and thank you, Kat, Hijabi Gamer, and Disparu for joining. We'll start with Kat. Do you want to plug anything?
Well, I'll be playing Destiny 2 this weekend on Saturday with my clan because of the new season. And Sunday, anyone who does play original Destiny, I'm hoping to get together a fire team so we can do the weekly raid. So on Xbox. If you play Destiny on Xbox this Sunday, I'm going to be alternating between Xbox and PlayStation on original Destiny on Sundays. So hoping to get a raid team together.
Nice. Very nice. I should probably try and play that game one day, but I don't think I could play well.
If you want, no, I don't mind. If you want to ever play original Destiny or Destiny 2, I'm on Xbox and PlayStation, and I'll carry you through. It's fun.
Well, can I plug my keyboard in?
Destiny 2 is on PC. Destiny original Destiny is on Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah, but it's not an Epic Game Store, so using your
Oh,
keyboard mouse
that's
isn't a
true.
problem.
That's true. I just got this, which I'm thinking about doing a review on for my Xbox. Half keyboard.
Oh, I have that.
Oh.
Wait, is that the Elgato one? No, the Razer one?
This is a Red Thunder. I thought about getting the Razer
Yeah,
one,
I
but
have
it's
the-
not like a normal keyboard. It has just like a bunch of like assignable numbers. So that's why I didn't want to get that. So I got just like a
Oh no, Razer had something like that. I don't know if they make it anymore.
Yeah,
but
I have the
one.
Logitech version of it.
Oh, yeah. And then the Razer one was cool because it had the rolly mouse on the side. This one doesn't, but it's fine. It will hopefully work well.
Well, I have
But
the Razer controller for Xbox.
Oh, nice. Razer makes such good products. I like almost everything I have is Razer.
Yeah, they went through a bad patch with their mouse buttons, but now they've gone over to like laser switches and I've had no issues. So they're
Thank
back
you.
on form.
Thank you. Yeah. Perfect. So maybe I'll have to give it a try. Thank you. You are very good. I've watched your streams.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no, she is.
I mean it. I love playing Destiny. I tell people consider me like a hired gun. I get paid in enemies that enemies you've turned me on. So I'd love to
get
play
paid
Destiny.
in enemies that.
Yeah,
well,
no,
I
seriously.
wasn't-
I tell people I'm like, if I join your fire team, do whatever you want. Just I will follow along. I love playing Hunter. So yeah, I mean it. I'm Feline Revolution on PlayStation and Feline Uprising on Xbox because I kind of like cats. A lot.
Kind of.
Just a little.
Kinda.
Just a little. Yeah.
Just like how I love dogs.
Hey, I get it. If you love dogs like I love cats, then total respect. I get it. Totally get it.
Mhm. And what about Mr. Uwu, European Gigolo over here?
Well, yeah, apparently. And it's only ever come from one person. But Disparu on YouTube and Twitch. I've just done a video about Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm going to do a review of that when it comes out tomorrow. You can look forward to that. Yeah, subscribe YouTube and Twitch on Disparu.
I am so
And
sorry
obviously
for you
Rings of
or
Power later.
excited for you. I don't know how you feel about it. Some people are excited, some are not.
I think people are excited to the reviews. I'm not excited to make them, but I like it. It's weird. They're horrible to make, but they're satisfying when they're finished.
That's what she said.
Hey, I still
Well,
feel
I mean,
for you. You
hopefully it's not
watched
horrible to
Halo.
do.
I
Yeah,
don't know how you did it.
I'm excited for Kenobi,
All of
but
it.
I don't know.
I
any
watched Halo
spoilers,
3 times
so-
a week. Yeah,
How
I
are you
watched it.
staying?
Well, I struggle. If anyone's ever seen the reviews, I struggle. But I watched it normally first, then a second time during the review, then I did it a third time for the Lethal stream on Sunday.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that was
Ooh,
fun.
no.
That's a lot of views.
That's
That was a
entirely
lot of
too much
trash,
naked
yeah.
Master Chief. Absolutely.
Well,
not.
I mean, well, actually, someone told me that the cheeks aren't that good, and I did see, and it's
Mhm.
okay. It's
Lady
okay.
Gravemaster's review was that she was expecting the peak of human perfection, and she was incredibly disappointed.
Well, I mean, she's married to the peak of human perfection, from what I
It's
hear.
very
so.
true.
Hi,
Very true from what we found out.
Who's married to? Oh, Lady G. Yeah, I think Lady G's a
Mhm.
little biased there.
I canceled my
I
Paramount
don't
Plus.
know. If you heard his voice.
I need to actually watch the stream or hear his voice because I would love to. I would love to.
It
melts
his
your
voice
heart.
will make anyone
I'm
swoon.
not. Are you talking about her husband?
Yeah.
I've not heard it either. Ooh, you have to
It's
let me
on
know.
Lethal's last Halo stream.
Came
There's
on for
like
just
an
a
hour
moment,
and 40
right?
minutes of us taking the piss out of like her, and she's like, no, she gets her husband on, tell him I'm nice, and so her husband comes on the mic. I was like,
I need to
hello
hear that.
guys. It's like,
Someone,
wow.
can you clip it and post it on Twitter?
Yeah,
And Lethal's
somebody
like,
clip
we've heard
that.
you fought Superman and won, and he was like, well, he was the easy, but he's not the hardest about to fight. Like, wow, okay.
Wow.
He's,
Well,
Apparently you
I
can
would
jump
like
on a
to
bar
go in
and
with
do
a
17
positive
pull-ups in a
note.
minute.
Positive note all the way,
love
but I
having
mean,
this.
I don't have any interest, at least for me, to watch it. Just because I didn't like the 7th movie, unfortunately. So I don't know. That's just me. Everything after that came after, besides the Mandalorian, I thought Baby Yoda sold me on it.
I love the Mandalorian. I love
That
it
was
so
the trap.
much.
Yes, it
Even
was.
though it was basically made null and void with Boba Fett, but that's a whole nother. Don't even start on that garbage. But anywho, I really like the Mandalorian. I'm excited for Kenobi. I hope it's good. I haven't read any of the spoilers. I don't want to know. I've been staying away from all that.
You don't want to know.
Don't
You
wanna
really
know.
don't know.
You don't
I'll be
wanna
watching
know.
it with a fresh mind. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm excited.
And then I guess for me, I have next week Monday, Firefly will be my first monetized stream. Please sub to my YouTube channel, and yeah, a lot of good things to come. I feel like y'all know what I do anyway, so that's the only thing I wanted to kind of advertise. Thank you very much again, Kat and Disparu. This was really fun. It was like the guests that we didn't know we're gonna be so freaking amazing, but we like love each of you individually, and it just like melded so freaking well.
It worked really well.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for people to realize that I'm not as cool as the people who invite me to their streams.
Oh, yes, you are.
Oh my
Like,
god.
like every week
You
I get
wouldn't-
that invite for Tuesday night's main event, and every week it's like I come in on Tuesday, I'm like, are they gonna actually invite me? No, they're probably not. And then all of a sudden I wake up at like 8:30, I'm like, they invited me. Were they drunk when they did that again?
You wouldn't get invited if they didn't like you.
Yeah, no, from the very like get-go, felt good vibes. Good vibes.
Cool, thank you. It was thank you so much for inviting me.
I'm glad you were here. I'm
really
so glad I
fun.
finally got to meet you. I'm so excited.
Likewise. I think we've interacted on Twitter a few times.
Yeah, a couple of times. I've not. This is my first time officially meeting her, you guys, those of you in the chat, which is weird to say because you've interacted with like literally everybody, including me on Twitter, but this is the first time we've met face to face, which is awesome.
Yeah, look, even Paul right here. The more I see, the more I like it. You are red.
Oh, yeah, everybody go subscribe to her. And yes, everybody.
And Uwu.
And
Uwu and Kat.
Who's going to completely rip apart Kenobi, and I'm going to be over here like, I love this show. Great.
Just don't watch the reviews. You won't appreciate
it. I honestly I think the first time I watch it is going to be pure nostalgia glasses, to be honest with you, because I'm just so excited to see Hayden again. I freaking am in love with him.
Oh, well, yeah, he's beautiful.
So it's just going to be like, Hayden! For however many, and Ewan, of course, for however many episodes straight. And then I'm going to go back watch it the second time and be like, or no, or whatever.
Yeah, with the first episode, most people think that'll be pretty.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
main character, and then it'll change as the series goes on.
I'm sorry,
later for a while.
Just how can you not make Ewan the main character? Come on, if you want to appeal to women, you make him the main character. I'm sorry, I don't understand this whole thing where it's like women want more female characters in their shows. No, we want guys. What's wrong with you people?
Look how excited we got about Thor.
Yeah,
right?
They were like,
Thor, please, naked everywhere. Okay, that's fine.
They're like, we want to make Ghost of Tsushima with a female character. No, we don't. We want Jin Sakai. He's handsome. He's good looking. I want as much Ghost of Tsushima number 2 with Jin Sakai. Why would I want a female main character in Ghost of Tsushima number 2?
Which is funny because it's the opposite for males in those types of games. They love playing as a female.
No, but
it would be the same. Even in the TV shows, if the main character was an attractive woman, it'd be fine. But the issue is they're not anymore. It's like, no, we need to give them the worst physical hairstyle we can, shave. But you only have to look at Quan from Halo. Like, you see her with hair, entirely different look than what she has in the show, because they've just, like, shaved both sides of her head and just made her look as awful as possible deliberately.
Wait, I'm going to say this as well, because the first time I came across that haircut, when I was working my new retail, when I was new to my present retail job. Came across a woman who half her head was shaved, and I thought, oh my god, that poor woman. She must have had like brain surgery or something. She
Right?
needed to have half her head shaved. I'm like, oh my god, I'm not even going to ask what happened.
Oh
And
my
then
God.
her hair started to grow back, and she shaved it again. I'm like, okay, maybe the surgery was delayed. She hasn't had the surgery yet. And I'm like, oh my god, this poor woman,
You're
she's
so
has
positive.
brain cancer or something. I'm not even going to ask. And she kept shaving it again. I'm going, wait a minute, is she doing this on purpose? Why is she doing this to herself on purpose? I don't.
When I was
Yeah.
younger, there was hairstyles like that I used to like, but now it's become a red flag because of the people that use it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
The hairstyle can be nice on its own, but it's the association of beliefs that make it bad.
Yeah, I
No, I
did
have to
used to love
disagree.
the one side right here, just shaved because it's like edgy.
No, yeah.
Now-
it-
No,
yeah.
it looks like brain surgery.
When I was younger, yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I can't agree with either of you. It looks like you had you are either you had brain surgery or you're going to have brain surgery, and it's like, oh my god, you must have cancer. I cannot unsee that. I am sorry. I don't see anything attractive about it. It just you look
Hi,
like
Biggles.
you that's why they shaved part of your head because you had some kind of injury or you're gonna have surgery.
The most amazing thing for me was in Harley Quinn's own movie. I can't remember, it's some big long name. But they managed to make Margot Robbie look ugly. And it's like
Birds
the
of
amount
Prey.
Like hot.
the amount
Yeah.
the amount of effort you had to put in to make her look unattractive is so astronomical that it's kind of impressive that you even managed it. But you can only get that from a deliberate attempt to make her ugly.
What did they change it? It was called Birds of Prey. And then
Yeah, it was
they
like
had
the
to change
Fantabulous
it.
Adventures of or
The
something like that.
Emancipation, something, the Birds of Prey, and wait, it was the Birds of Prey and the one Emancipation of Harley Quinn, or the Emancipation of one Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Something stupid.
That's
I'm
too
like,
long.
you should have just called it either Harley Quinn or Birds of Prey. Although it wasn't really
Yeah,
wasn't a Birds of
But
Prey
the,
Should've been
the
Harley
reason
Quinn.
behind the name was the entire point was, oh, well, she split off with Joker now, and now she's single and on her own and amazing. And
Yeah.
everyone
wanted
went,
to use
no,
her- they
that's
wanted
not
That's
why I
called
watch Margot
Harley
Robbie.
Quinn.
Mm-hmm. They should have called it Harley Quinn because it was her movie,
Mm-hmm.
and that's fine. Like if you want to do that, but call it what it is. It's her movie, and they killed
Yeah.
freaking Black Mask at the end. Sorry for the spoilers, but what?
No,
It's
it's
alright,
been out
I've
for a
done the
while.
damage, so
I don't
watch it.
think you're spoiling much.
No.
JS Pena for 499 says, I really want to give Kenobi a chance, but after Book of Boba Fett, I really shouldn't. Probably
Boba
not.
Fett really dropped the ball, didn't it? And I say that as somebody who doesn't like Boba Fett. I don't really care, but just watching everybody's reactions and like seeing the clips I saw, I'm like, is this the same people who did Mando? Because I have questions.
Yeah. They didn't have a baby Yoda. I think that's probably why.
Well,
Because
no,
then
they
at
threw
least
him
you
in.
could distract
They threw
them.
Baby Yoda in. They threw him in. They took the first,
But not
3
long enough, right?
Yeah, they took the first like 3 episode or 2 of Mandalorian season 3. I will die on this hill. Those episodes we saw of Mando going and finding baby Grogu and talking to Ahsoka and seeing him train with Luke were supposed to be Mandalorian season 3 episodes. I will die on this hill. And the Boba Fett was doing so terribly that they were like, maybe we'll just throw this episode in and it'll be fine. I will die on this hill. I will die.
Cut and paste. Cut and paste.
I don't believe it doesn't make any sense otherwise. It makes 0 sense. No, there's no reason for those episodes to be there. I'll die
Yeah,
on
I didn't watch the show, but everyone started calling it The Mandalorian.
Yeah,
So I think a lot of
it's
people agree.
Mandalorian. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I
I'm
will die on that.
glad I don't watch it.
Yeah.
JS Pena for 199 says, hope you enjoy it though, Tugs. I do hope you enjoy it, but
Me
we'll see.
too. I hope I do too.
Mhm.
We'll see.
And again, thank you so much, Disparu and Kat, for being awesome guests.
Thank
Links
you.
are in the chat down there to their YouTube channels. And yeah, I cannot wait for the next time of the month. Hopefully it comes earlier. On time, but earlier.
On time.
You
I
you had
suppose
to be
earlier is
here for
better
the
than
beginning.
later.
Not too late. Not too late. Just on time. All right.
Not 6 weeks.
Yeah. No more pregnancy scares. Unless it's this one. We need a baby cyborg. Mark, are you still listening? Get on that.
Or get in it.
All
All right.
You're right. Get in it.
Bye.
Yep.